What's up, everyone? Another week, another natural ones. This is kind of just a chill stream, because Macuahuitl finished its campaign. We got what did we get? I can't even read that.
15,494.
Yep, $15,494. 534 backers. Absolutely insane. So
Yeah.
I didn't think that my little niche within a niche thing would get to this point, and here we are. So
yeah, that's the equivalent of a gold seller on Drive to RPG. So
it seems there will be rain. There have been enough sacrifices for it.
Well, and the PDF's done, so people are like, when is it going to release? It's like, as soon as I get the Kickstarter money, everyone's getting the PDF. So the only thing I got to do is on the back here, there's that'll lagged out. There's a section for the backers' names where I get to put all 534 names. I might need more than 2 pages. I gave myself 2 pages because I'm like, 2 pages is generous. I'm not going to need more than that, but who knows? Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I'm super thankful for everyone that's backed this project and kind of made it come to life, because this is definitely like a passion project for me, and I'm glad other people are excited about it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's awesome.
I'm actually saying 4-point font.
It's actually 10-point font. So
no, I think he means for the backer names.
Oh.
Yeah. No, you just make it like 4 columns or something.
Oma is asking, can we pick a name? Like, sure. I think when you guys fill out the backer form, I'll be able to like when I get that information, I'll need people's email address, your home address, so that I can send you the book. And all that kind of stuff. I think you should be able to like put like what name you want or as a credit or whatever in there. I think I should be able to do that. So, and 3 columns is a good idea. I could go that way, or
I've seen that before. 3-4 columns, just
because sometimes when it's just this wall of text of names, like no one wants to search through that to find their names. I think when you break it up into columns and stuff like that, it makes it a little better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Exciting news. Now to just wait for the prince from Lithuania as well.
Yeah, we'll see. Like Vic was asking, like, how much are you going to pocket? Like, how much is the? And I was like, honestly, like, I don't know at this point, because there still could be so many unforeseen things. That's why I'm glad the Kickstarter did so well. I did what 10 was enough to where I felt like I could at least, if something happened, I could at least break even. But and anything could happen. They got to put books on a boat and get them on a pallet and get them across the sea to the fulfillment company I'm partnering with, so that I can get those books out to people. So
I was about to say, I really hope you have a fulfillment company and you're not shipping them all yourself, because that would suck.
No. That would be terrible. I'll say is like a bit of advice for other people that want to do Kickstarter with an offset print. I think using a fulfillment company is like really smart, mostly because I think my campaign did well because I could ship to Europe. I could ship to all these places because the fulfillment company gave me a quote for the weight of the book, what the weight of the book would about be, and therefore like what it would be to ship it to all these different places. And opening it up, if I had just done the United States, like I don't know how well it would have done. I think the little bump from Europe and across the ocean, whichever direction, and in South America, Central America, and Mexico. Oh, we lost Poncho.
Yeah.
That really helped it, I think, succeed. And if I had done it on my own, I wouldn't have been able to get good shipping rates to get books overseas to people.
Shipping wasn't too bad. It was like 20 euros for me.
I think I think that's the benefit of a fulfillment company. Yes, there's going to be an extra cost on top of the, printing the book and everything, but they're going to have access to all those, shipping fees that I don't have access to, that you don't have access to. So like you're able to really broaden it. And this fulfillment company, they'll store books for a pretty reasonable price. And so like I could put the listing on my website, and thank you, Double D. I could put the listing on my website because there's going to be books left over. They're not all gonna. It's not like this Kickstarter's over and then there's no more books. Like there's going to be some left over. So I should be able to list them and keep an inventory on my website, and then people can purchase them, and then I can give that information to the fulfillment company. So people should still be able to get the book after the Kickstarter.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just sticking with print on demand. I don't know. I don't like hassles.
It's easy. This is going to be like, how the Kickstarter is very nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Like when you do print on demand, it's sort of like you send it to Drive-Thru-RPG, and the fulfillment is their problem. You know?
If a book doesn't arrive, like they email Drive-Thru-RPG, not me. So
yeah. Or if a book is damaged or something, they just print a new one and send it. And and it's up to the backer to like go. Like I still got to go get my physical version of Gods of the Forbidden North from Rob's Plummet Press one. We lost you for a second.
I lost the internet. It's been really weird today. So,
but I forgot where my logic was going with that. I'm already
bring about Rob's book.
When you do print on demand with the fulfillment like that, like it's on the onus is on the backer to use the code and to go and order the book.
So I sent out the code to like all my backers, and I don't think everyone has like even like claimed it yet. But like it's like, well, that's kind of your problem now. Like I sent you the emails, I sent you the codes. Like go claim it. So.
Yeah, I know there a lot that happens, especially with like POD codes, because I remember, I think it was a while ago. I think it was when Kevin Crawford did the offset print of Stars Out Number Revised. He offered the POD for the Universal Omnibus, which was like 1,500 pages, every Stars Out Number supplement and both printings in one massive book.
Holy smokes!
Yeah,
yeah. And the POD at cost code was still $100.
Yeah.
And so
that's crazy. 1,500 page book is insane.
I was actually thinking of. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
No, I was going to say like the whole omnibus thing. I was thinking of doing that with my Modern Necessity stuff eventually. So first, I'm going to release everything separately. But then I was thinking I'm just going to like drop everything in just one single file and just have like, a POD that people can get as just like a book this thick where everything is in it. So
I'll abort the modern bus.
Yeah, the modern bus.
But yeah, well, I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
And Shane's saying Conquistador and Reconquista, in all your free time. Yeah, I have so many projects that I'm working on. I am doing the research for the Spanish conquest book, which I won't probably do Kickstarter for that. It'll probably just be print on demand. But I am doing the research for that, and so far so good. I was talking on the Gilded server about some of my ideas for it, and I'm thinking I'm going to have the Spanish be kind of statistically equivalent to dwarves, where they have like a very, very high, very good saves, good magical resistance, and there's probably not going to really be a spellcaster among them, but they'll have, because the Aztecs will have all the fancy magic, but the Aztecs will realize that it won't work as well on the Spanish due to their faith and whatever. Because they were actually surprised when the the Spanish arrived, and they were trying to do all their sorcery on them, and they're like, oh, it's not working. What's going on? So I think like making that given that the game assumes that the magic is real, using that as a mechanic as far as the Spanish are concerned seems interesting to me.
Yeah, I can see it.
Any plans for a mestizo class?
Yeah, the demi-human.
Oh jeez. Crafty
That one
says
might actually get you in trouble.
Yeah.
Crafty says the Spanish should be more like elves. I don't think so. They loved gold too much. Elves don't care about gold as much.
Also,
Dwarves do.
15th century Spaniards, they were probably like 4'6" or some shit like that. So yeah, like makes sense that they were dwarves.
Cortez has a quote that's like, us Spaniards have a sickness of the heart that can only be cured with gold, or something like. It's some quote like that. I'm using it in the supplement in the sequel book, I guess. That book's going to be a lot
something from Moria.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why they're more like dwarves.
Sacrifice Victor for good luck. Well, we have hit the sacrifice goal.
We don't really need it anymore. We got enough. We got enough.
It will rain today. Quote me on that.
Yeah, Christian missionary class. I mean, the hard part would be like just making it work. I don't know how to make it work. It's still like in the. This is why I didn't include them in the book to begin with. When I started writing this, I stopped and restarted so many times because I was going to include the Spanish right from the beginning, and it just wasn't working, and I couldn't get the Aztecs right because I felt like the Spanish were messing it up. So then that's when I felt like, oh, there's so much history prior to the invasion, prior to conquest, that if I just focus on the Aztecs and get them right, get that whole part good, and whatever that ends up being, then I build the Spanish to kind of bolt onto that. Mm-hmm. That'll work better, which I think it will, because now I feel like I have context and I have like an area for me to play in, but whereas before, like, there were no walls, so it was very difficult, I guess, if that makes sense.
Since it was mentioned for like a missionary class, maybe it could be kind of similar to what Axe does with like the multiple classes per demi-human race. And so you could just have like the Spanish warrior and then the Spanish like missionary, which would be kind of like, it'd be I don't know. To me, that seems like it'd be the parallel of like the druid to the cleric type of deal.
I'm kind of picturing like maybe like a missionary would give like the Spanish even like extra bonuses against like resisting like Aztec magic or something.
Yeah, where it'd be like all buff magic.
And maybe if you want to, like, this might be spicy. I don't know how people would take it, but maybe some sort of like religious conversion mechanic where you can like get like locals as like retainers, but they have to convert to, something like that. I don't know.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I see the wheels turning in John's eyes.
Yeah, I was just looking at Shane's comment here. There's a lot packed into the sentence. I wanted to get the Aztecs right, and I felt like the Spanish were messing it up.
Yeah,
it's like it's like a meta level. I had to approach the game much like how history happened. The Aztecs are here, and then these guys come. So
very loaded statement.
I mean, to a lot of people, it's kind of a loaded topic. So whatever.
Well,
fair.
Today is, Columbus Day, not to get too spicy, but I know that's been a war going on social medias. I've largely avoided that. I've not played into that at all because I don't care. But
release the PDF today.
I got to figure out how to like set up maybe Vic's gonna have to help me probably with I'm assuming it's pretty straightforward, but Kickstarter gives you the ability to ask what questions you want for the backer form or whatever for them to fill out.
Yeah.
So I'll have to figure all that out. And I think it's going to take I got an email today. It'll take 2 weeks for them to get the funds to me. And I need to start contacting all the people I'm going to be working with and be like, it funded. let's get going. You know.
Mhm.
Yeah, the backer. What's the name? The backer
Backer
Survey.
Yeah, you can only do it
Oh.
once for some reason, which is annoying. So you kind of have to like, if you have multiple questions, you kind of have to ask them all at once. So I would use it. Do you need no? You have a fulfillment company, right? So like,
Well,
you might have to ask for like everyone's address plus like their backer name to put in the book at the same time.
Yeah. So like you're saying that you have to, when you do the form, it's like even if you don't need that information from someone, you still need to ask that information of them because the form only can be done once.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, because you need everyone's address, obviously, but you also need everyone's name that they want in the book as as their backer name. So
yeah. And then I'm pretty sure most people just assume that your Kickstarter email is the same email you're using for drive-through for PDF codes.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I should probably check that mine's the same. That would not be.
Yeah,
good.
that's another question you could ask. Like, if somebody has like a different email, then give me that.
Well,
too.
I know Rob's on his. He asked for Gods of the Forbidden North. He specifically asked, "What is your email on Drive-Through RPG?" So, to Ander Brandon Kreitz message here. Congrats! Is the campaign over? I hope I didn't miss my chance to get in. It is, but there'll be opportunities to forever in the future to get print on demand, and I'm not going to have. I already said this. I'm not going to be sending out all the books after the backers get their hard copies of the hardcover. There will be some left over, so I will be selling them onesie twosies on my website if you want the nice hardback.
Well, what I did, because there were some people that wanted to like back me, but even though the Kickstarter was over, I just kept their names and like the details in a separate file, and I just had them like send me the money over PayPal instead of like through Kickstarter.
I think that's how Crawford also used to do it,
Yeah.
Vic, before he set up his like online store. I think
So
that was a long time ago.
If somebody wants like the offset print, they just PayPal you that money, and you just put them in this text file just to keep it in mind. And then when you do the fulfillment, you just add their name and stuff.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, I bet I could set something up like that because I use Shopify for my store. I could probably set up like a pre-order thing where
yeah, definitely,
where people could do that. So maybe I'll have to look into that. It might be an option. It might needlessly complicate things as well, though. So who knows?
I know what is it, Backer Kit or whatever? Like all those like they let you do that, but I think they don't even touch you unless you've made like a certain amount. So
yeah. Someone was asking me if I was going to use Backer Kit, and I was like, "Nah, they're expensive. They take a large cut, and maybe it'd be worth it if I was doing a bigger project in the future. But for the moment, like, I kept this Kickstarter simple. It's just the book, no stretch goals, no nothing. Because the Backer Kit and those kinds of things are really good for after the fact. Like you want to try and sell them a few more things, like here's some dice, here's a extra book that you can get, and I'm not doing that.
Backer Kit's really good if you have like 90 zillion add-ons, like all of the battle tech Kickstarters.
Yeah, which I don't have, so it would have been worthless. Yeah, and that's an interesting comment here from Rex Steel 1. Religious war between Aztecs and Spaniards could work like a sort of alignment faction system. I'm thinking similar to Law versus Chaos. So there is an alignment system within Macuahuitl. I do use an alignment system that's very similar to that. So there's Law, which is like you agree with the status quo of Aztec society. There's Neutral, where like you don't care, and then there's Chaos, where you're actively trying to dismantle Aztec society. Which could be like from the perspective, if you were that alignment, you could be like Tlaxcala, or you could be one of the Aztec enemies if you're a native person, character.
Alignment, Christ.
So once the Spanish are introduced, like the Spanish are going to be law, but then also the Aztecs will be law as well. But it will just be like two different kinds of law, and they'll appear as chaos to each other, which is an interesting, I think, philosophical perspective. I'm gonna have to try and untangle in the Conquistador supplement, which I have a name as well. The name is going to be Espada de Conquista, which is Sword of Conquest. I was gonna just call it Espada because that's sword in Spanish, but it's just too short. But it would have worked because like Macuahuitl is like the sword of the Aztecs, so like Espada for the Spanish was it seemed fitting for like the companion book to it, but it just seemed too short. So I'm gonna go with Espada de Conquista.
I have a question. Since they seem like law to themselves and chaos to each other, what about looking into a 5 alignment type system like what Holmes has?
I might have to do something like that to have an alignment system that's further expanded.
Because you'd have like law, chaos, Aztec, Spanish, basically is like the 2 axes, I guess.
Yeah, I'll have to look at that.
I'll have to write I'll just write the foreign mercenary supplement. You know, I'm sure the Spaniards brought a ton of just random Europeans along.
There actually were. What's interesting is that like a lot of other Europeans, when they saw like the opportunity that was available to them to go to this new world, and you know, you were when you were a conquistador, you went to the Americas and you conquered and you found gold and stuff. Like you were entitled to a share of that. Yeah. You know, some of it went back to the Spanish crown, of course, but you were entitled to a share of that. And if you had a horse, you were entitled to even more than the average footman. But there was a lot of Europeans from like all over Europe that were like, I'll take a Spanish last name and I'll change my name. I'll learn Spanish. I'll go over and, you know, I'll
rich.
Yeah. So it wasn't just the Spanish. They had like, I'm sure they had Dutch. I'm sure they had French. I'm sure they had a lot of different people that were like, they changed their names and said they're Spanish. So they could do it.
I'd have to look at the timeline because that might have been around when like the Netherlands was still like Spanish Netherlands. So that might have been before we got uppity and we're like, you know, we're gonna wage war against you for 80 years and kick you out. So
the Dutch being uppity, say it ain't so.
Oh no, the Spanish hated us, dude. Like I've told the story before, but I was watching this movie recently, and it's like set in like 16th century Spain, and like the main character's like talking to some Spanish noble, and they're like talking about like, you know, how the conquest of like the Netherlands, like the war in the Netherlands is going, and like this noble is like, yeah, it's a hellish country. It's like the ass end of hell, basically. It's like, you know, he's just completely like trashing the Netherlands, just making us out to be like horrible savages. Like we're like the frozen north and stuff, and I was just like laughing.
They have windmills and flowers.
Max says, like I posted on Twitter, 3 alignments is an all too simple line. 9 alignments is the oft argued cube. No, you need the 81 alignments of a tesseract. I'm more of a let's do like a Mobius strip of alignments. That's
so just one, but so just one alignment, but it makes it look different.
Yeah. The Mobius strip of alignment. It's simple.
It's just a relation to God tracker. It's like how close or far you are to Christ, according to the Spanish.
But yeah, I haven't really even started writing classes for that yet. And then people are also saying like write some adventures and stuff like that. And you know, I'm not the best at writing adventures. Like they're really hard for me to do. Adventure writing is a different skill, in my opinion, than like writing a rule set or, you know, a rule book. I can do it. But my adventures when written are never as good. And it's not that I don't make good adventures. Like I make good notes in my notebook for myself about adventures and things that I want to touch on and whatnot. But like translating that into something that someone else can use is like, I don't know if anyone else has had this experience, but that's very difficult for me. So, because I know what I need, but I don't know what others need. So.
Wizard Jim, the basic expert doesn't get to touch the Netherlands. That's going to be my project. I already have a game in mind that's going to be fantasy 16th century Netherlands Or so yeah, that's mine. Step off, bitch.
Crafty says, can't write adventures, fraud confirmed. I mean, I can, but like in one of my past scenes, it's one of those things where it's like you set this stuff up and the players are going to find a way to break it. So one of my past zines was an adventure where there was a wife in town, and she was like a foreigner, but she was also like this vampire that every full moon would turn into a vampire. And the players learned through some kind of spell that I forgot about in one of my Subscribe Star supporters games. He ran it, and he told me, he's like, it was a lot of fun. He's all, but the players broke it pretty quick because they like cast a spell that immediately like revealed the mystery to them. And that's kind of why like written adventures are sort of hard for me, both in using them, but then also writing them, because it's like they can break real easy, and then you're like, shoot, what do I do?
That's happened to me all the time.
Yeah, you were saying how like the druid did like speak with plants or something like that.
Yeah, and I like literally skipped like 4 hours of like mystery, and I had to just like scramble to like improvise.
And that's just frustrating.
Yeah.
Whereas if you don't know what's going to happen and you're just making stuff up as you go along, which is what I normally do, it doesn't matter. It doesn't freak you out as much because you're just making it up as you go along. So
no prep supremacy.
Exactly.
I did have the last laugh on that adventure though, because the clue led them to like a necromancer who was like in a farmhouse, and he was baking like necromantic bread. I don't even remember what it was about, but it was like some evil bread. And they like talked to him, and they just kept failing all their like their inside rolls, so they didn't notice that he was like lying to them. So they were like, "Oh, okay, well, you seem nice. Anyway, sorry to bother you. Bye." Meanwhile, there was like the bodies of like all the farm family that lived there previously were like behind the house. There was like zombies hiding all around them and stuff. And they were like, the necromancer's like, "Yeah, bye. Thanks for dropping by." And just went back to his evil plans.
That's funny.
Plans of making bread.
Blood bread.
Yeah, so they never ever actually even finished the actual quest because they never figured out the truth.
Oh, that's funny. Black Lodge, thank you guys.
Yeah.
No prep is best prep. So, I have a zine coming up. I'm gonna share it here. So this is issue 3 for December, and one thing I worked on was I did a play report of a solo game here. I used 0E, used white box D&D, and I played as a character named Oleg. And so I did like a little play report here about like what happened, and it's pretty interesting. I think it's pretty interesting, and it where'd it go? It was cool because it was an interesting adventure, and I had no idea what was going to happen. And then by the end of it, it was like, this is I don't know, zero prep just works. I think once you figure it out, it just works. So my goal with this, hopefully, if people read this in 3 months, they'll be able to see the ability of zero prep gaming, in my opinion.
Yeah. The zero prep life.
Hide that comment. I like now we can see Poncho's background better now that I removed
no
that.
rain.
But now comes the hard part. I'm like dreading the next part, and but it's got to get done.
Yeah.
It'll be nice though once fulfillment and everything's all done, at least though. So
it's very stressful.
Well, and I'm not looking forward to Drive Through RPG's back end with setting up print on demand. I hate doing that.
It's a pain.
it's a pain, but you know, it's got to get done.
At least Kickstarter didn't tell you it was a coupon code.
Oh yeah.
I was actually kind of worried about that with your stuff too.
Yeah, I don't know. They didn't. I got so when I did the Kickstarter thing, like it got approved almost instantly. It was super weird. Like,
Yeah.
I did it, and then I was like, oh, I guess I'll wait a few days, and then I came back like 10 minutes later. Not kidding, and it was like, you're good to go. It's approved, and I'm like, really? Oh,
Yeah, that's what for me. It took 3 days, and then they were like, "No, you can't do that. You can't do at cost print on demand." I'm like, what?
but everyone else does.
Yeah, but I think it's because I phrased it in a way that they thought I meant like, you know, people get like a discount or a coupon code or whatever. Because I basically mentioned like how much it would cost like to get the print on demand. Like, you know, for softcover we be about $5, for the hardcover be about $8. And I think they just misread what I meant. And yeah. But that was like a whole ordeal, if you guys remember. That took like weeks, if not months, to get resolved.
Yeah.
And I remember you sending them like other Kickstarters that are like, look, this Kickstarter uses the same exact language. This is what I'm doing the same thing. And they seem kind of, I think they eventually relented, obviously, but
yeah, like Evil Head was doing the exact same thing at the time for like a huge Kickstarter, like all this stuff. And I was like, but you know, they're giving me shit.
A huge Kickstarter of a poorly written with Cal Art style art version of Apocalypse World.
Yeah.
Huge.
Well, you know, they made a lot of money. That's what I meant. By
no one plays those games. People buy those games, they put them on their shelf, and they're like, I'm a good person. I bought that game.
Yeah. It is very like dispiriting sometimes when, you know, you put all this effort in like your passion project and you get it crowdfunded and whatever, you barely make like what you're asking, and then meanwhile you just see some tourists like coffee table game is like making like $500,000 that you know nobody's ever gonna play.
It's like a 60-page incomplete game that's like an art book, and
that happened with me with the gun rules. So, you know, I write like a 200-page supplement. I get like 5,500. You know, I'm grateful, obviously. But then like some guy did like a 30-page like just adding like basic guns to normal 5e like thing, and it got like I think like 36,000 or some shit like that. I'm like, why? Come on.
Yeah, and you actually did a lot of work for that. That's kind of.
I wrote like 24 subclasses. I did like all this shit. Like
meanwhile, he's like, "Yes, this is gun. It does 1d6 damage. Gives money."
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to see that kind of stuff, but I don't know. I'm a firm believer that if you work hard and try, like you at least got a chance, and that people will eventually find your stuff, will eventually find your way, you know.
Yeah, I don't want to complain too much, you know. Like I said, I'm grateful that people are enjoying my books, that my first Kickstarter, you know, was successful, you know, all that stuff. But it's just kind of dispiriting sometimes.
And Rodrigo says, well, tourists are well known for 1, having money to burn, and 2, being idiots. So
yeah. I really want to get the clip from Armored Core 6 of Carla calling everyone tourists. Just post it constantly.
Fingers are sore.
It's a chill stream.
Oh, sup, Max?
It's good to see y'all.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. We're just hanging out, you know. Macuahuitl funded, and we're just chilling now. So.
That's good.
Yeah,
I hope I at least got one person to back it. That's all I care.
I appreciate it. You know, I appreciate a lot of you guys that, like, you know. Our hobby is like full of a lot of negativity sometimes, and a lot of like real D-bags, but
I know somebody who's accused of that.
But I feel like you're always, I think you people say you're like that, but I think you're always fair, you know? But you know, our hobby is full of a lot of D-bags, but I really felt like a lot of people that I didn't expect were willing to support this project, and it I don't know, means a lot to me.
Yeah,
I want to support people that I like hanging out with. I want to support people, even if I mean, to be fair, I didn't back it. It's not my cup of tea, but that doesn't mean that I should poo-poo it. That means I should get other people to get it who it's going to be a benefit for. So why wouldn't I do that? Victor's the same thing. I I don't buy his crap because it's Dutch.
Yeah.
No, I absolutely want people who can use it to back it and to buy it. And if I can help, put out the name, there were people promoting it and shilling it a lot harder than I was. So I'm sure they got more backers for you than I did, but I'm happy to shout it out.
What I was really surprised by was Goodman Games backed it. They just threw $1 in, and I think that really helped, because when they put that $1 in, it sends an email to all the people that follow them that Goodman Games followed this project. So I saw an immediate uptick in pledges after Goodman Games did that. And I had mentioned before, I know a lot of people take issue. I know you do, for instance, with their language stuff, but I think that that's still like a class act thing to do for small creators. And I noticed, because I went and followed them, they just Goodman Games just goes around giving $1 to like all these projects, and then which is essentially alerting their followers to like check out this project. I don't know. I think that's pretty neat.
My issue with Goodman Games isn't that the company decided to do what the company decided to do. It's how they announced it.
Yeah.
Like, look at us. Oh, we are now part of current year. Oh, shut up.
Yeah, the virtue signaling stuff, yeah. Yeah, that's also why I like Necrotic Gnome, though, because they have like their their monthly zine, and they will shout out people that like write for Old School Essentials, and they'll shout out Kickstarters and stuff like that. So
that's cool.
Yeah. And I think Kelsey for Shadow Dark was thinking of doing something similar for stuff being written for Shadow Dark. But
yeah, she retweeted me and all that stuff when I wrote Blacklight, which I want to return to someday and like expand on it. I think that'd be cool. But yeah, she was like, personally, she retweeted it and like personally responded like, "Oh, this is really awesome" and stuff like that. So yeah, like it's nice when like you're writing for like an existing thing, and the people that like want that existing thing actually take notice and actually appreciate it.
Well, isn't that how this all should be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm small, but I'm super appreciative when people are like, I want to make something for cow punchers. Like someone on the Gilded server, he hasn't updated it in a while, but he's working on this awesome like spooky weird west thing. It's like massive. He's adding more he's adding monsters, he's adding all kinds of stuff, and it's like in the antebellum South or something like that. And where it takes place. And I think that's cool. I'm like, dude, the moment you finish that, let me know. I'll share that like crazy. I'll get it, because like I'm grateful to anyone that wants to make stuff for my stuff. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
It's flattering.
Yeah.
I still have to finish Epsilon Yellow.
Yeah. I would love people to like write some stuff for like Modern Necessities, but that's also why I'm giving it like an official setting kind of. And like people like I kind of hope that people write like adventures in it and maybe like expand on the setting. Like I don't care what people do, just fucking write whatever.
It's funny you say that, because one of the things that I've run across recently, especially like 3-4 years ago when I was doing more research about how I want to put my own game together, is that people want a setting. No matter how many times people say, all right, play sandbox, I don't need a setting. The majority of people want some sort of default setting, whether they change it or use it, whatever. Yeah. And the reasons are all over the place. Some are like, well, I like the setting so that I don't have to think about it. Okay. Well, I like a setting so I have a starting point. I'm going to change it, but I want a starting. I like a setting because it helps me see what the designer's intent was. And while I can do my own thing, this, gets me moving in what is probably a better direction. There are many different reasons for it. So the whole setting thing is pretty important. We talked about that yesterday with Mark McKinnon when we were conversing with him about it's like Absolute Power and how he went about doing the setting and why he did it a certain way and so forth. But even if you decide to change it, those pages that you put into a setting are going to be beneficial for you.
Yeah.
And I think that's why Macuahuitl did well, because it's a setting. It's a setting in, there's rules in there. It's a rule book too, but like it's a setting that a lot of people haven't seen. So I agree. I think a lot of people want settings. And
wow, Victor, you just had to.
Yeah. Little tiny man.
I'm small too. That's it. That's the comment. But yeah, it's definitely a setting that not many people have seen. Because I think, like, if I remember correctly, there was a little blurb of like some kind of Mesoamerican thing like in one of the older settings. I think was it Forgotten Realms. I'm not too versed in Forgotten Realms, so if I got that wrong, don't lynch me. But
Mastica.
Yeah, there's Mastika.
yeah.
But that did have like a whole book and stuff. So
yeah, but like even then, that's about it. So
I've seen a few smaller stuff, but nothing quite on this scale, which is what drew me to it. Not just because it's my heritage, but I legitimately think that the culture and everything's cool. But yeah, this is cool. Ace of Spades is making shit for Cowpunchers has consumed my life. My group likes Cowpunchers as a game, but want to play different settings. So I've spent hours turning it into Star Wars. That's cool.
Star Wranglers.
So
there we go.
The thing is too is like, and I did it purposefully, like sell that thing, man. It's I put it under the Creative Commons commercial use is allowed. So you can take what I made and make your own book and run with it. Go for it.
I wrote Waste Runners, which was pretty well received, and I should probably do like an updated version of that someday. But yeah,
working title is Star Punchers. Hell yeah,
yeah,
I like that. That's good.
Nice.
Yeah, release that thing, man.
I'm adding a setting to Modern Necessities, and it's going to be like the post-apocalyptic, like kind of like magic post-apocalypse, a little bit Rifts-like. It's kind of like Rifts mixed with Shadowrun, Rifts mixed with Stalker, because OSE it's very much like about the hex crawls, about the dungeon crawls, and all that stuff. So I wanted a setting that kind of like maintains a lot of those aspects, like wilderness survival and stuff like that. Like if you just do like a pure like modern like urban fantasy setting, you lose a lot of stuff that like is a core part of OSE in my opinion. So I was like trying to figure out a way to do a setting where you can have like AK-47s and like orcs with machine guns and stuff like that, but still maintain a lot of those OSE aspects. So that's kind of what I settled on. But yeah, it should be fun. I'm writing a Bunker in the Badlands, which is going to be like my take on Keep on the Borderlands, but in that setting. So yeah.
That'll be fun.
Right. Yeah.
Waste Runners. No.
Oh no.
That's my secret game that I'm releasing under a pseudonym.
I do kind of agree with what Rex Till said there. There needs to be more settings for systems already available. Because, I mean, settings are always just nice because you can just slot them into basically anything. And yeah, whereas, yes, releasing BX Heartbreaker again is cool, but I don't know.
One of the reasons I like, first and second edition AD&D, and second really went far with this, was I like the settings. Like, I understand it was against WotC's design decision, but I like the fact that people said, I play Forgotten Realms, I play Dragonlance. For example, my favorite setting is to play, even though I'm a second edition guy, play in first edition Dragonlance. I like the classes better. I like the Wizards of High Sorcery better. I don't do the modules. I've actually never done the module. I mean, I've read through the first 4 or whatever it was. Very railroady. I know people have a lot of complaints about them. Don't care. I don't play them. I like the setting of the world. And it's unique enough to say, we don't have paladins. We have Knights of Solamnia with 3 different paths you can take in that. We have 3 different orders of wizards that are just basically clerics and wizard robes. Whatever. I mean, all the stuff that it offers. I think more things like Dark Sun. I'm not a Dark Sun fan at all. I think Dark Sun is trash, but it's still unique while still following the core of what D&D is. We need a lot of that for whether it's Cowpunchers or OSE or whatever. I think that would actually add longevity and life to it. You just need the core game, and then from there you have a setting that changes up your own homebrew. Boom, you've got a lot of content.
I'll say what you want about Dragonlance and Forgotten Realms. I know a lot of people hate Forgotten Realms and stuff, but it definitely kept D&D on the map, especially in like the 90s when like actually playing D&D fell a little bit by the wayside because people were into Vampire, Shadowrun, like all these other games. But you still had like the PC games and stuff that came out, and those were all set in Forgotten Realms. You had like all the Drizzt books and like all that stuff. Those were set in the Forgotten Realms, and those kind of kept, in my opinion, like D&D in the spotlight.
It's funny you say that though, Victor, because WotC took the exact opposite of opinion on all that. In fact, one of the few things I know about the 3rd edition design philosophy was WotC was irked that people didn't say I played D&D. They say I play Dragonlance, I play Forgotten Realms, I play Mystara, I play whatever insert Ravenloft here. And they're like, no, we want people to say I played D&D, and almost all of their horrible, in my opinion, design decisions where all race, all class, yada yada, comes from the fact that they wanted people to say I played D&D, not I play whatever.
They do that to this day. That's why why now they'll like focus on like all the multiverse shit. That's why like
they don't even have settings now. They're just trying to mash everything together. Again, using Dragonlance as the idea. There's no moon phases because you might not have moons on your planet. So you just identify with the moon phase. Yeah.
Well, it's like orcs used to be different in Forgotten Realms than they were in like Eberron and like stuff like that. Like, you could have like different
Eberron's
flavors
third edition,
of orcs.
though.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about WotC. But so you can have like different flavors of orc like across like different settings. But now it's all like a multiverse. So now when they talk about orcs, it's like, well, orcs in the multiverse are like this, and it's like, no, like let me decide what I want to do with them. Just depending on the setting.
All right, I'll read the super chat real quick from Black Lodge Games, $5. Glad to hear you using Creative Commons to ensure your game lives forever. It was partly that, but then it was also just sort of like I wanted people to make stuff, and the OGL is kind of a mess, and I didn't want people to worry about it. So like the only caveat is that they have to share their stuff in the same manner that I shared my stuff. But if you're cool with that, like it's fine.
Come and bring it up. Come and try to grab me, buddy. Come and try to grab me.
This coming from a bunch of world weaving fucking Vampire the Masquerade players. Come on.
Just roll up to their session being like, bleh.
I like Black Lodge, even though their opinions are completely wrong.
Insert name asks, I'm curious, what inspired you to do a Western-themed project, Cowpunchers? I don't know. I always liked Westerns. I have fond memories of being like 6 years old and sitting on my grandparents' green shag rug carpet, and they had like that kind of old wooden television that looked like furniture. It had like the carved, engraved like pillars on the side and everything. And like my grandfather like passed out on the recliner behind me with like a cigarette, on him, and like. John Wayne was on TV like that. I have vivid memories of that kind of stuff as a kid. So I've always kind of loved Westerns for that.
It was a similar thing with me with my great uncle as I'd visit his house, sit in front of that TV, and in a shelf right next to his TV on VHS, he had every single Clint Eastwood movie. And he would just, as soon as one finished, he'd swap it out and just keep playing it. I'm just like, all right. So.
Yeah, I watched Westerns and Looney Tunes with my grandfather. So like, I have fond memories of that.
So my grandfather on my mom's side, he died when I was like 1, so I never actually knew him. But I almost look exactly almost like him. He was like a huge spaghetti western fan to the point that his funeral music was the harmonica tune from Once Upon a Time in the West. He was like huge into guns. Like the very first like gun book that I actually got, I still have it, was like one of his books. So like I always like, I'm like, am I just like a weird reincarnation of like my grandfather or whatever? Because I've never met him, but we have like all the same interests, and I almost look exactly like him. So
Victor, born Dutch, raised American.
Yeah.
Black Lodge Games says, at Vic, I like Black Lodge Games too.
Yeah, I mean somebody has to.
$2. Oh jeez. And
everybody has a mom, right?
Yeah.
Dungeon Minister says it's because I like Westerns and I hate cows and I want to punch them. So
yeah. I think Cowpunchers is a fun name.
It's just another term for cowboys. People I thought it was funny because I knew that when I picked that name, people are going to be like, Cowpunchers, what the heck is this? But it's just another term for cowboy, So
Yeehaw.
Yeah. Like there was the Cowpuncher hashtag on Twitter, and when I first released the game, I was using hashtag Cowpunchers, and like when you click on that tag, it was like rodeos and like what country music and like all kinds of stuff. So
nice.
And you're just like, I'm getting in on that Cowpuncher.
Do you have any plans to like expand on Cowpunchers? Like
yeah, I have. So I want to do this. I just talked about how I can't do modules very well, but I have this desire to do essentially the Oregon Trail, but cow punchers. So you'd start on
Dysentery punchers.
Yeah. So and it would be like a multi-generational campaign. So it'd be like, you know, the first phase would be like trying to survive the journey west and then establishing your homestead. And then the second phase would be like, you know, as the west gets kind of wild and, you know, all that kind of, so that it would go up until like maybe the late 1800s. That's awesome, like that's like the vision that I have. So you'd be playing like multiple characters, maybe from the same family.
Yeah, like maybe found like your own town, like, you know, and you get to name it and stuff like that. Do like trading and like deal with bandits.
That's just a massive project, and I haven't gotten around to it.
There was an Oregon Trail today. Would that be like the Baton Death March?
It's pretty crazy. It's crazy how like it. I was talking about this with a friend, you know, because I was doing research on this, and he was over in Mountain Home, good friend of mine, and he was talking about how these people like showed up in covered wagons after losing like half their family, and there's just like this plot of desert, and they're like, "This is our home now. This is great. I can work with this. This is fine." Where like any of us did that, we'd show up to this like plot of land in the desert and be like, "We're dead. We're dying. It's over." You know, so like it's just crazy how tough those people were.
Mm-hmm.
Where there's a will, there's a way. Honestly, that survivalist mentality now. I know some people have it now. I think I don't want to say going overboard for personal reasons. You do you. I don't have a problem. Preppers are great. I don't care. But when they're wearing the tinfoil hats and saying you're gonna die in 5 years because you don't know how to cultivate the desert. Shut up, dude. No, we're not. But there is a different culture behind that. I mean, that was pure survivalism, and where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
That's actually I don't know, this is like 5 years ago or whatever. They like released a game that was like Oregon Trail but with zombies, and it was called Oregon Trail. That was pretty fun.
You could partner up with the guy making the Weird West supplement and do that, John.
Yeah, that's true.
Any plans to offset print that one?
Cow punchers?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I guess I could.
We're gonna bully you into offset printing everything.
You guys are already bullying me into a 0E clone. Like,
yeah.
I don't have time. Like, I can only be bullied into so many different things at one time here.
People try to bully me on all sorts of stuff too.
So I like Patty's comment here. I hope John and Vic become so popular their fans 40 years from now have to defend their title names. Their names from tards that rip off their books and have channels that study their design process.
Good luck studying my design process. I can't wait until there's like some people just like sitting on like a 3-hour podcast, like having a discussion about the Victor Gorchev design process. Meanwhile, my design process is like I drink too much and I just make up some shit as I'm writing it.
Yeah, his design process is drinking like, I don't know, 10 beers and then in a drunk stupor just typing something at somehow.
So that's what you're doing on the chill stream.
Yes.
He's like just furiously writing his next book,
Hold on. Max just said something. I gotta add that in here. He's gonna look so stupid.
Well, all the best chill streams that I've been on were pretty much while I was like really drunk though, so
And I appreciate Rex Steel's comment here. Like, Basic Expert, I love the titles you choose for your games are honestly very creative. Thank you.
Yeah,
I just try and have fun with them.
Yeah.
So
a lot of my titles are puns too. Like Modern Necessities is literally just a pun on Old School Essentials.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And Black Lodge says base design, fucking base design process. So there you go.
Well, somebody asked me earlier about my design process, like if it's like zero prep, and I'm like, yeah, kind of, because I literally just start writing and I just see what comes out. I just think it up as I go, and then I'll go back and like tweak some things. But the very first draft is literally just me just like kind of like stream of consciousness. Just
I wish I could do that. I need to be able to do that. I'm supposed to do that. I can't do that.
Yeah.
I because most of my life in terms of writing has been spent as more of an editor. I'm not an official editor. I'm not licensed, but as as QC and editing, that it is very, very difficult for me to write. I can write a 12-page SOP, TTP, whatever you want to call it, in a day and have it right and edited and perfect and out there. But a 300-page rule book that takes me multiple days, weeks, whatever, I find myself just spending all my time spend all my time editing instead of writing. And it's because, well, I could tell I wrote this on a different day than this one because the styles don't match and I've got to fix it. No, I don't. I got to type.
Yeah. I mean, I do have that self-editing problem, but I usually get like, my first thoughts out and it's like a whole thing. And then like all the days after that are basically just spent like going over it again and like tweaking it and stuff like that. But yeah, that very first like draft is just like stream of consciousness, just getting some nonsense out.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. I like Atomic Punk was written in like a month. I just felt like really inspired by it. So it's like furiously typing like and then when the OGL thing happened and I wanted to change it to what I really wanted it to be on 2D10, I was like, it was another like furious stream of consciousness creative writing process. But I don't know. It's maybe you need to drink more, Max. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, if I didn't have a full-time job with a security clearance and working for the government, well, the government makes me drink. But
Same.
I was hoping for the furlough when Congress wasn't going to pass a budget. I was like, oh, dude, I could use a couple weeks off. This would be great.
Also same. Yeah, no, I'm kind of in that like same self-editing boat, but with me, it's like I'll get a solid like quarter to a third through with like a project, and then I'll get sidetracked or I'll just get like burnt out because like my entire last 2 weeks was just doing nothing but code documentation. And so then I go back to sit down writing it and I'm just like, what's this other thing I can do? And then I get completely distracted by that. And then
if you're to look at my Google Drive, I have thousands of pages written in various games. Like there's 4 real main games that I tried to write, if you want to call it that. I have version 1, version 2, version 3. If somebody were to try to compile all that together, it still probably wouldn't make a complete game, but at least but seriously, thousands of pages. I went through, I have one that's 400 pages. I have another one that's 300 pages. I have multiple files because I said, this isn't working. I'm going to break them into chapters. Each chapter is going to be a file. I have chapters that are over 100 pages long. And I still don't have anything put out yet.
I think what I realized, because it's kind of the same with art. Like when I'm drawing something, like I will be overly critical of something that I draw or something that I paint, and then I show it to someone, and they're like, "That looks great, man! Like that's wonderful. I love this and this and this." And I'm like, "Oh well, you don't notice this problem here?" And they're like, "That's a problem." And I sort of realized, because I've been doing freelance art since 2015. I've sort of realized since then, it's like, like you kind of got to trust not like in an arrogant way, but you kind of got to trust yourself and be like, I do have some sense of like direction as far as the stuff I create. So I should just kind of lean into that a little bit and trust it.
My problem is I'm a perfectionist. And they always say when you do a job interview, they ask, what are your weaknesses? You never say, well, I'm a perfectionist. But I can actually say that as a weakness because it prevents me from finishing. And sometimes it even prevents me from starting something. If I can't do it perfect, I'm not going to do it at all. And that's what I run into. Yeah. And of course, with the way I've harped on other people's books and writing, I already know that the world is waiting for me to put something out there to come after me. And by world, I mean the world of our community here. It's just waiting, chomping at the bit, be like, oh, Max, I can't wait to find that one spelling error you missed in there.
Yeah.
There it is. I'm in that thing too, because I think I have like 3 main projects. As I have ampersands, I have Epsilon Yellow, which is Cal Puncher's riff off of Delta Green, because I just don't like the writers of Delta Green, so they can suck it. And the third one was I was going to try to do kind of an OSE type of deal for Classic Traveler as like a passion project, and I haven't finished that. And now I have Shane Winter, he was in the chat for a little bit there. wanted to talk to me about doing a relayout of Mega Traveler because I have the okay from Mark Miller to do that, and I'm just like, oh, that's a big undertaking.
That's awesome.
It was Mega Traveler's huge, so
It's mega.
I've been one.
yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's mega. But
Then comes Giga Traveler.
Oh yeah, and Shane
Giga
just said
Chat
my
Traveler?
little Age of Sail Traveler game too.
yeah,
That's been on
That'd
the
be
back
fun.
burner. Yeah.
but I've been wanting to be like a writer and like do stuff like my whole life, like since like at least like my late teens, and I'm like almost 40 now. I'm like a year from 40, and like just
Oh no.
this last couple years, like I wasn't doing anything with my life. I was kind of like having like an early midlife crisis and stuff. So I kind of had to put a lot of like my hang-ups aside, and I was like, I'm just gonna do it. And yeah, like, now, like, I'm not saying that I'm famous or anything, but like, I've got like a little bit of a internet following now. People know me, like, people enjoy my games, so that really helps, and that kind of actually got me to like want to continue it, because I have like massive fucking imposter syndrome and everything. Like my confidence is just like shit. But yeah, like it really helps. Like even if it's not perfect, but like people really like, I look at Modern Necessities and I see all these issues. That's why I'm like doing the updated version. But people seem to really like it. I've got like good reviews on it and stuff, and that just really helps with wanting to continue to do this thing. So,
Hey, Basic Expert, can I post a link here?
Sure.
No.
I'll send it to you in private chat. This is there's a request for the module.
Okay. And it is in chat.
Oh. All right. Oh
yeah,
it's the Free League. Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, that's why it's not on Big Geek Emporium. It was on Big Geek Emporium at one point, and Free League. Apparently, Free League has a rule that if you're part of their workshop, you could only be on Drive-Thru RPG. Sucks, but
that's how Call of Cthulhu is with their Miskatonic repository. I think it has to be on Drive-Thru RPG.
It's kind of weird, but whatever.
I mean, otherwise you can make whatever you want, but I don't mind Drive-Thru RPG. I just wish they'd update their website. Their 2002 GeoCities level back end is
I thought it was Angel Fire.
Same thing.
I don't even mind that. Like as long as it works, I'm fine with it looking like kind of like old school. But just give me a better print-on-demand service. Like, come on, there's Lulu out there, and then there's Drive-Thru RPG, and like Drive-Thru RPG is just a nightmare when it comes to the print-on-demand stuff.
Especially since they changed their printer. So
yeah, it's like
Are
Lightning Source now.
Is it? It was Lightning Source before. Is it not Lightning Source anymore?
No,
it says
it
says Lightning Source for me, so it might still be the European printer.
No, because I think what was I think it like a couple years back or so, Lightning Source got like new printers or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Because like I think it was around 2019-ish, people were noticing like, hey, why is there a stark drop in POD quality from Drive-Thru? As like something happened with Lightning Source or something. But it was a while ago.
It's not. I'm not even concerned about the quality. Like, whatever. I mean, of course I am, but you know what I mean.
Wow.
But people will get what they pay for. But I just the backend is so awful. Like on Lulu, I can like upload the files. It immediately gives me a virtual like
proof.
I can see if like everything is lined up properly, like the cover and stuff like that.
Please tell me more about the back end of Lulu.
I'll tell you more about your back end.
Oh no.
But also, if you update the file at any point, they don't require you to order a new proof. Drive-Thru RPG, they don't have that digital proof, so you have to like order a proof, which takes like days, to come in. It's like expensive because you have to pay for it, and then if you update the file at any point, even just to fix like a typo or something, you have to order like a whole new proof.
Yeah, if anyone from Drive-Thru's watching, if you put in something like Lulu with like a virtual proof, oh my gosh, that'd be amazing. Like please do something like that. It would be a game changer.
Yeah.
I know they won't, but
If anybody from Lulu is watching, die in a fire.
Oh,
Yes. They terminated my account, dicks.
I did not know that.
Yeah, because I was, using them to print PDFs. Apparently,
that you had
they're
permission
not
to.
a print house. Yeah, that I had permission to print.
I just use Staples for stuff I don't have permission to print.
I had permission to print.
Yeah.
I've got the email chain. We're not a print house. Really? What is it that you do then?
Yeah. Well, their actual policies aside, like they're just way better than Drive to RPG. The print quality is like a massive step up. Like the books just look so way nicer. It's just easier to do as a creator. Because I did my 5e books and the covers were messed up. So I was like out like 60 euros just to even get like both the soft cover and the hardcover sent to me. Covers were messed up. I had to like re-upload the files. Took like another like 5 days for like them to be approved and everything. Had to order them again. Out another 60 euros. Took like another like week and a half for them to arrive. Like it was like a whole fucking ordeal. And like it sucks ass.
I mean, Lulu did have a really good process for the books I was able to print out before. Apparently, I was a bad person. So I mean, in fact, and the quality that I got from them, considering how little effort I put into it, was actually really good.
what were you trying to print when they dinged you?
GURPS 4th edition.
I wonder if
And Steve Jackson's got it on it, as much of a douche nozzle as he is. He's got it on his site. Plus, I printed it out. It says you have the right to make one copy of any of our products, and it's right there. And Lulu came back and said, "We don't care. We're not a print house." Like, okay.
Yeah, but just give a warning. Don't ban somebody.
Yeah, well, that was that was the main issue. But fine, whatever.
Yeah, just be like, hey, just a reminder, we're not a print house. Please don't do this. And you could be like, oh, okay, I'll go to Staples or whatever. But yeah, like just full on banning somebody is kind of shit.
Meanwhile, I wonder how many people have used Lulu to print the
people
Star
still
Wars
do it.
re-up.
Yeah,
the Star Wars
People
re-up.
still do it. It's all over my Discord. I still use Lulu. I still use. Yeah, I mean, I'm not telling people to not do it. I'm just saying be careful. And as far as Joshua Thomas says, Max Steve Jackson's a dick. That's up to Basic Expert if I'm allowed to talk about that here. But yes.
we'll just say Steve Jackson. He's been when the whole abortion thing went on. He decided to weigh in on it, and it was kind of annoying.
And
So-
he just did something recently too. I forget what it is about, but he did something really recently as well.
And it's like, look, man, I just want GURPS.
Well, hey, let's actually go a different route. So we had Mark McKinnon on yesterday. If anybody cares who that is, that's he's a guy who developed TriStat. Big eye, small mouth.
I didn't get to watch sadly, even though I'm a big TriStat fan. But yeah,
I mentioned you on the show, so there you go.
I'll have to go watch.
But it's in 3 parts. First part came out today. But anyway, he's a left. He even said it before the stream. He's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure your audience probably sees my stuff differently than I see it. I'm like, well, yeah. But and if you look at absolute power, he gets political in absolute power, like because it's based on real world events. And there were some things in there, and I asked Heathen Dog not to attack him on it. Even Heathen Dog being more of a lefty than well, he's definitely left of me. It's like, no, we don't want to attack him for this, but he took the George Zimmerman or the George Floyd. He got the George Zimmerman stuff in there. He's mentioning culture, climate change, and how the superheroes do that. He's got pronoun superheroes and so forth. And I'm sitting here like, oh, this is blowing my brain. I'm having a hard time reading this. But here's the difference. Mark McKinnon has a one-liner. I start off today, if you watch today's video, talking about that one line. It says, I'm a manifesto, not a cop. If you want to change any aspect of the game, change it. He isn't one of those that's like, you must do this or you're a bad person. You will abide by my pronouns. You will abide by this. It's like, no, if you don't like what I put in my books, I'm encouraging you to change it. He straight up just says that, and I'll respect that, especially since talking to him, he's a nice guy. He's actually been really stand up for us. So I have no ill will feelings towards him at all, even if our politics are different. And if you watch the live stream, you'll find out we didn't talk politics at all because he's a businessman and he wants to make money in his product. And even with pronoun characters in the book and everything, there I am. Steve Jackson, on the other hand, goes out on his website and starts weighing in the Second Amendment, abortion, trans rights, and whatever other nonsense that is like, stop it, just sell books. And this is why Mark McKinnon gets my money and Steve Jackson will not.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's only
Just be
game.
a dude first.
Yeah, it's only game. Why you have to be mad?
Well, we talked about it before. It's like it's escapism, like with Macuahuitl, like I didn't want to. I think some people maybe when they don't know me were probably worried when they saw it. Like they maybe never heard of me before, and they saw like this Aztec game, and they're like, "Oh, what is this going to be about? Is this going to be like?" And it's like, nah, it's just like, what if the sorcery and magic of the Aztecs were real, and this is prior to conquest, and what if? Have fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to like make political statements. I have very strong political views, but I don't put them in my stuff.
Well, they also like how would your 20th 21st century libertarianism like apply to 14th century Aztecs? There's like no application there. Like it's such a completely different alien world. Like why would you even put that in? So
listen, Vic, the hearts from the slaves are free. I have 27 of them.
Yeah.
Well,
who's making the votes?
The nobles don't want you to know this, but the hearts are free.
It will rain tomorrow.
Well, it's like my stuff, like it's about firearms and all that stuff. I could easily just fucking like start talking about like the Second Amendment and the NRA, even though I'm Dutch and I have like nothing to do with that shit. But I could easily do that. But no, like I'm just presenting it as it is. I'm presenting it like an action movie. If you watch an action movie with lots of guns in it, that's not political. That's just an action movie. Guns are fun to watch.
You ask some people, it's political.
Well, yeah. There's always going to be somebody who thinks everything is political. That's literally a talking point on Twitter. But those people are fucking cringe and they can go fuck themselves. But
no one cares about them.
Yeah. But like, no, my stuff isn't political. Like, you can have like your own opinions on guns, but for the most part, normal people enjoy the concept of having just like a cool action scene where you're just like John Wick with a pistol shooting some villains in the face.
See, that's what you should do. You should do the orc in the tracksuit John Wick setting.
Yeah. Well, I am working on that. So
there you go. But I had something I was going to say that I forgot what it was. I derailed myself.
Instead of the Continental, call it the Underdark.
Well, I am working on that Blightwood setting for my next 5e project, which is gonna have it's gonna have like the whole John Wick, like the assassin group, but it's gonna be like demons and tieflings. I know everyone hates tieflings, but whatever. I thought it fit because tieflings in D&D they use the soul coins, which are literally coins infused with like souls, and I like the idea of like assassins and stuff trading those instead of like the gold coins on the John Wick series. So, we went after Venger and I probably agree mostly, not on everything, but mostly politically. But we lit him up when he put his Second Amendment, his abortion right after the Supreme Court decision. He made that module or whatever it was. He wanted me to look it over. I'm like, dude, I don't want the politics. Even if I agree with your politics, I don't want it in the game. What part of this aren't you getting?
Yeah. When that got removed from drive-thru and men got removed from drive-thru, my main gripe, I was like, they made it, so whatever. My whole thing with it, though, was why were those removed? And then, like, you have stuff like thirsty sword lesbians still up. Like, I was showed some modules. I might even have it on a Friday stream where people are showing off. No, check out this module. And the description of the module is something even I was like, ooh, do I want to say this out loud? Not about YouTube, just my own personal, ethics. Do I really want to say this out loud? It was ridiculous. Yeah. But and men, I tried to read it and I get it. Most of it's satire. I got partway through it, but there are a couple points that I was like, okay, this is old now. This is no longer funny. Yep, I get it. I'm out. My wife read it and was laughing her ass off the whole time. So, yeah.
Well, a big problem is when politics are inserted into games. They're very American politics. And me as a European, I can't always relate. It's like, why would I give a fuck about your fucking very Seattle, Portland, or even Midwest politics? Like that. I have nothing to do with that. So why would I enjoy this game?
Where's the politics on clogs and windmills
Yeah.
and flowers?
Yeah, exactly. But like, imagine if I wrote my game and it's about like very like Dutch political things. You guys would be like, "What? What the hell are you talking about, Victor? You madman!" So yeah,
You might get it if it was like Dutch Farmer the RPG or something like that.
Yeah.
Is that like the old Farmville game? You just sit there and you can grow the better crops and trade corn for wheat or whatever. And
Well, until you have to fight the government. So
yeah,
that's right. Forgot about that.
exactly.
Is that the Danish or the Dutch?
No, that's the Dutch.
It all starts with
That's
D. All the
obvious.
same.
That is true.
I mean,
we're
they're just
better than
they're
the
just
Danish,
taller
but-
than you. They're like 7 feet tall, and
No,
you're midgets, but-
no, the Dutch are the tallest people in the world on average.
Well, I read the
So-
Danish word, but okay.
No,
Here you
it's the
go.
Dutch.
Dungeon Minister said he'd play Dutch Farmer RPG. So there you go, Vic.
I'm like 6'3" and I'm like fairly average over here. I saw a teenage girl recently. I was like walking out of the store and this teenage girl, must have been like 16, 17. She like almost bumped into me. She was like half a foot taller than me. I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck are people feeding these kids these days?
Dairy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dutch Farm RPG. Oh boy.
Yeah. He says he'd play, but it had to be.
Yeah, with
Growing weed.
resist against the government with our windmill mechas.
But wait, Netherlands, that's pretty low territory. So I mean, you could grow a lot of shrooms there too.
Oh yeah, we are known for our narcotics.
Mhm.
We were like the biggest distributors of ecstasy at one point, and we might still be. I don't know, but yeah.
Crack
So-
House on the Borderlands is based off of his actual experience.
Throngar wants to know why you're not good at basketball, though.
That's a good question.
I don't know. It's not really a sport here. Like that's a very
Because they're
basketball-
taking too much weed, and
Yeah.
nobody wants to. That looks like energy, man. Screw that.
Oh.
Where are the potato chips?
Basketball is a very American American
Damn.
thing. Like you guys have like all these like huge sports, but only you care about it. But because you're a country like 400 million people, like it's still big. But literally only you guys care about it. Like football, like American football, basketball. Well, baseball, you've got like Cuba and like Japan and stuff like that.
Basketball's
I
big
guess.
in
What wasn't
China.
Cuba, but
Yeah,
Oh,
basketball's
but-
big in China.
yeah, but they use like those little ping pong balls.
I was gonna say, do they use 6-foot baskets?
Yeah.
Shane says they're tall, not coordinated. So that
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't slouch. My camera is just like literally mounted on top of a giant screen, so
He
it looks down on me.
slouches.
Yeah, also that. I am also a slouch. You know the guy that in the 90s Addams Family movie, Lurch? He was a Dutch guy. He was a Dutch actor. Well, it still is because I think he's still alive. But yeah.
Oh,
Wow, you just ended the conversation. Good job, Vic.
Yeah, well, it's what I do.
Well, we went into this without anything. It was like my Kickstarter funded. We're getting the rain.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, what
No
do you want
idea.
to talk about, Max?
What's that?
What do you want to talk about then?
Let's see.
Nothing,
On Friday, I got Vengers showing up. The Friday after that, Alexander Macris is showing up.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we have Kevin and Sean coming back on a Sunday coming up here. So, got things happening. I'm getting burned out, not of just doing live streams, but of caring about live streams. If that makes sense.
no, I get that because with my Kickstarter, a lot of people wanted to interview me, and I'm already at a point where like I'm streamed and interviewed out. I got nothing left.
Great. I guess I'm not going to ask you then. Good job.
rip.
Yeah, but it's less of an interview on your show and more just hanging out. That's fine.
Oh no, Patty's asking about the windmill mechs. Oh, speaking of Max, I'm sorry to disappoint Max. The first lance I'm painting is a Merrick. lance. So.
Well, yeah, it's the first one you're going to shoot up. That's
Excuse
okay.
me.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it is a Thunderbolt and the Locust for the first two.
Hey,
so
Thunderbolt is a great mech. Actually, the Locust, if you're playing 3025 era, the Locust is a good mech too. Just keep it moving.
Fair.
That's all you got to do is keep it moving.
Because the Merrick Lance is I have a Wolverine, an Awesome, a Thunderbolt, and a Locust. And then I'm doing a Steiner Lance that is a Battlemaster, Shadowhawk, Commando, and Catapult.
Okay, those are relatively. I'm not sure about the catapult, but those are relatively. That's cool. Those are relatively house-oriented mechs there.
Yeah.
Look at how his little clogs here are like his little feet here are literally shaped like clogs.
What is the
it's
man.
Tequila Gundam is the Mexican one.
That's my new favorite Gundam.
I wish they would release a kit for that one because that's probably the only Gundam kit that I would actually want to get. But I don't see them releasing it.
I don't understand why they've never wanted to do that. Like,
I don't know either. It's such a fun design.
let's
Everyone the ads go and like show the Mexican mech. Would you like a link, John?
I'm trying to find the screen here to share it, but it's not. Oh, here we go.
All right.
That's not it. Do Tequila Gundam. I'm boomering out here.
He's boomering out.
How do I open this PDF?
Alt F4.
Open DOS prompt and type in format C. And,
C colon.
Yeah. I did that once. It was like this, like the house of the future type thing. And they were like showing off like future technology, and I like this whole bank of PCs that we as kids it was like a class trip. We could like do some stuff, and I managed to get into DOS, and I fucking did format C, and because they were all linked, they all got formatted.
There's this joke I saw from our help desk people one time because I work in IT, and it's like most people, oh yeah, smart homes are great, and then anyone that works in tech, it's like, yeah, I keep a gun next to my printer in case it makes a funny noise.
It's funny. I don't do any of that. I got friends who got like clap on, clap off. They control the entirety of their house, just sitting on the couch and never stand up. I'm like, the light switch is right there. And I want to get up to do that. Like, it's 2 steps. Like, what's the? I can't get with that. I still cable my house in terms of like my network. I hate wireless.
Yeah, same. I still use Cat 6 cables.
Oh yeah, Tequila Gundam.
Yeah, nice.
It's such a cool design.
Yeah, I hate wireless too, Max, because you never get like the same speed out of it that you should. Like I pay for my current speed is I think is like 700, 800 megabytes per second or whatever.
Yeah, but you got the whole European thing. It's like when I lived in Europe, I had up to 100 up and down, but when I connected to the DNS server, the maximum I could possibly get on a perfect day ever is 59. Just according to the DNS server. I sent a message that said this doesn't say 100. They're like, no, you're paying for up to 100.
Up to, yeah.
And like, you dicks. Okay, Germany.
Yeah. It's like if you use Wi-Fi, like you use like a lot of that speed. It's like maybe like 30% to like half, like, as much.
Yeah, unless you're like 5 feet away from the. Yeah, but it's not just that. It's the whole idea. Like I don't have a problem getting up and flipping a light switch. I don't know why that is such a big deal for some people.
Well, you don't like the clapper?
Well, no. So one of my friends, he has everything, literally everything in his house. His refrigerator, his air conditioner, his lights upstairs, downstairs. He has everything on his phone. He does not get up out of his lazy boy. And he brags about it. I'm like, dude, this is why you're pushing 300 pounds now. When I last knew you, you're skinnier than me.
Well, and then you hear the stories about like that stuff getting hacked. There was like apparently like there was a couple of years ago, but it was like a baby phone that was like hooked up to like Wi-Fi and stuff. Baby and monitor. Somebody hacked it, and they were like, yeah, baby monitor. And somebody hacked it. It was just like a creepy guy, like just like talking to like the children at night. Like the children were like terrified. They were like, oh, there's a voice coming out of the dark, like talking to us. And the parents like, oh okay. and they actually fucking found out
Oh,
that it
good
was just
parent would
like
be like, shut up and go to sleep.
There's a reason I don't like indoor security cameras either, because there's a whole thing with like Anchor with that recently with their like UFI cameras, and where they were actually we swear we don't keep any of the data. JK, we're actually keeping all of it and sending it direct to China. It's just like
Wow.
So
China.
Well, when my appliances start acting like that Futurama episode where they're going all bourgeoisie, so forth, then I'm glad I'm armed, and it's not a smart weapon.
That in California, because when I was living there, they had all like the rolling blackouts and brownouts and stuff, and I remember hearing people say like they got stuck with lights on or off for like for like a certain amount of time because it screwed with their system, and they're like, I had to sleep in my bedroom with like my bedroom lights on at night, and it was terrible because it like wrecked my system somehow with the network or whatever. They removed the switch. It's like, I guess the switch didn't work. Somehow it didn't work. It was super bizarre. So it made me like, you know what? Yeah, I agree. Walking up and just flipping that switch is not a big deal. Get your steps in.
Everything being like connected to the internet and stuff is how you get like that movie Maximum Overdrive. You know, that the movie where all the machines come to life, and it's got like the truck with like the goblin head on it. You know that movie? It's an old movie. It's an old.
Are you drinking again?
Yes, I am. But what's that have to do with anything? No, it's an old Stephen King. It's an old Stephen King movie from like the 80s, I believe. It's called Maximum Overdrive. It's where there's a meteor or a comet, and it makes all the machines go crazy and kill people. And the big bad is like basically like a big semi truck with the Hobgoblin from Spider-Man on the front. You don't know that movie? It's a famous movie.
I don't think I ever saw it.
Now I'm just defending myself because Max is fucking like roasting me, like just fucking like frowning, like, oh, what the fuck is this Dutchman talking about? Fuck you, Max.
Skynet, please turn off the bathroom light and flush the toilet. And it's like, no, your poop stay in there.
All I'm thinking about is how much I hate Stephen King. So I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he thinks it's hilarious. There you go.
Yeah, there's like people stuck in like a gas station while like all these semi trucks are like circling, like trying to kill them. And like a girl, I think it's a woman, she gets killed with like one of those like electric bread cutters. It's a hilarious movie. You should watch it.
I'm not a big fan of Stephen King either, but yeah.
I'm not either, but let's be honest, the movies generally they have nothing to do with his fucking books.
Yeah, that's like The Shining, you know. I know that I don't think he likes The Shining, the Kubrick one, but it's like it's great. I don't care what you say, Stephen King. it's better than your story, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, he did his own version of The Shining. It was like a TV miniseries. And that shit is fucking awful, dude. Especially like the kid that plays like the Red Rum kid. Like it's like this child actor from the 90s with like this really pony, like awful like fish mouth, and I always hated him. And
something from the 90s that was direct to TV being awful. Say it ain't so.
Yeah. Well, no, like it's like his version of The Shining is his vision of The Shining, and it's fucking trash compared to the Kubrick movie.
Well, and also on the smart home thing, yeah, we used to have, because Throngar said, my Alexa randomly said, I'm not spying on you. Yeah, we had a similar thing, as we used to have a couple of like the Echo things just in our home, because why not? Because they had clocks on them, and it was like nice because we'd just be like, what's the weather? And we got the bug that apparently like went viral, where it just one day like started like out of we were just watching TV and they just started laughing, and we're just like, yeah, no, throw them out. So
my in-laws bought us an Echo, and I think I plugged it in once, played with it around for a little bit, and then I immediately unplugged it. I was like, no thanks. No, thank you, in-laws, for the gift, but no.
They wanted to spy on you.
I say way too many spicy things to trust that stuff. I don't even really trust my cell phone. So yeah,
and someday, if not already, that stuff's gonna be used in like legal proceedings. Like, when did I say that? Oh, well, that was a year ago on a Friday night when you're sitting around minding your own business. But you said it, so that must mean it's real. And
I was like, no, I was on the Friday Night Chill stream. I was drinking. I didn't mean it.
It's a mechanic for my game.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're already on a list for researching like how to make IEDs.
Yeah, basically. I actually have had to Google stuff like that. And then I like Google like please Mr. FBI man, I'm doing research. So
and he's like that isn't what kind of research? What are you researching for?
Every copy
For my
of
book.
Our Necessities actually comes with a copy of the Anarchist Cookbook as well.
You're researching your book. What kind of book is this? Is this
yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's that dungeon game, and no one cares.
Yeah. It's like I should buy that. You know what? I'm gonna Kickstarter.
Well, there you go. No one cares. So now that's how you frame it going forward. When really you are writing the next version of the Anarchist Cookbook.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just for my dumb elf game.
Yeah.
I've seen this in a meme form, like Americans in 1950s. Do you think the government is spying on us? Americans now, hey, spy machine, how's the weather?
Yeah.
Just rename your Alexa to Wiretap. I love the whole thing when it's like when I was really little and we were reading 1984 in school and everyone's like, huh, the telescreen thing that's like constantly listening to you is so dumb. And I'm seeing like all of the like Alexa screen things, like the Facebook screen. I'm just like,
Yeah, just did you know Idaho has a cool gem hunting program? Just Google Ruby Ridge. You'll learn a lot. Yep.
Yeah.
oh.
I like those memes though, where it's like, hey, this is how you like can avoid taxes on this thing. Like this is like Japanese economic guy like figured it out. Like Google Futanari Rule 34. It's like, like no, don't do that.
Oh wait, I was just starting to type it in.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah. Ask your wife about Futanari. She might know.
I had
Reminds me when you
the
got Ogma to click on a porn link on the Gilded the other day, Victor.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it was an obvious one too. It's like xvideos.com. Who the hell? What kind of boomer clicks that?
poor Oma.
Yeah.
You're mean.
X.
Well, he had to explain it to his wife too. Apparently, his wife was like, "Did you just look at porn?" And he's like, "Yeah, you know that Dutch guy that I've been listening to? Yeah, it's his fault."
Oh yeah, those Dutch, they're degenerates.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. How can you not click that? That's exactly right. Like, oh, X videos.
Yeah.
I've been there before. Click. Better than Pornhub.
Yeah.
Oh,
See
Oma
what you
says,
have to do. What you have to do, John. The 3 million IQ move. Start broadcasting your Macuahuitl actual plays. Once you get the Reconquista supplement up, start broadcasting them on Pornhub and give them all the title of hot Spanish men fucking over natives.
I mean, they were legitimately hot. They showed up on the shores. They had their like plate armor on, and they're like, "Boy, it's hot. We got to take this stuff off."
Yeah.
I was gonna put in rules for like heat exhaustion for wearing heavy plate in
do it.
In the Conquistador setting.
Will there be mechanics for armor rusting as well from the humidity?
I don't know. I hadn't thought about that. That might be a little too far. I'm not Macrease, so I'm not gonna go.
Oh yeah.
How many days has this armor been near the shore?
Roll on table 29.356.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have him on not this next week, but the week after Friday Night Chill stream. You got any tips or tricks of talking with him?
Well, I mean, he's a hardcore. He's a good guy. He's super friendly.
Yeah.
He's a pretty open book. He has a good sense of humor too.
Yeah.
Well, he chose to be on the Friday Chill stream or the randos, whatever I'm calling it now, because he's like ranting. That sounds like something I could have fun doing. Like,
Oh,
yeah.
Wait, you mean I might have to hand up? Oh fuck! I might have to hang up. I can talk. Goddamn! I might have to end up talking to him again. Is what you're saying?
Next week, not this week. This week's Venger. Next week will be him.
But
We'll do it 4th time.
he's way into the simulationist thing. Like his whole thing is like revitalizing simulationist gaming. You know, so Axe Imperial Imprint, which I am extremely excited for. I am going to be backing that the moment it goes live. I think the 24th. But you know, he has rules for like everything. He's gonna have rules for like anything you can almost anything you can imagine in that.
See, I'm the opposite of that. I don't want another Pathfinder game. like there are too many rules in some of those games.
It's not simulationist in the form of combat necessarily. It's simulationist in the form of like once you start getting a lot into the domain stuff, it's like if a dragon goes through and eats like an entire province, like what's that going to do to your tax base? Like he has his tables.
Economics rules can literally be an Econ 101 textbook. But
exactly. I'm talking to him on Saturday, and then I might be on that chill stream. Who knows? So it'll be the 4th time. Whatever.
I mean, if there are people who like that, I mean, I'm not going to say that's bad gameplay. It's not for me. But then again, like we were even talking about the other day, I don't even remember what show I was on, probably mine, where I was like, it was when we were talking about 2nd edition versus the other editions. I'm like, first of all, I don't want rules for everything. And yes, pundit, I don't want domain play, and I want to be the adventurer the entire time, whether I'm level 1 or level 20. Call it narrative or story gaming. I don't give a damn.
He summoned the wizard.
I'm with you, Max.
What's that?
I'm with you, Max.
He summoned the wizard.
Dragonlance is what got me into this, or let me rephrase, not into it, but got me enjoying Dungeons and Dragons. And yes, I want to recreate Lord of the Rings, where Frodo was at the beginning and Frodo was at the end, and a couple people died in the middle. I want to be the Dragonlance Chronicles, where Raistlin and Caramon were there at the beginning, and Raistlin and Caramon were there at the end, and so Flint died in the middle. But
spoilers.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm with you, Max.
The mud.
I want to be the dwarven wizard at level 1, and I want to be the dwarven wizard at level 20. It doesn't matter.
Too bad you're stillborn.
Well,
I like the simulation stuff. I like getting into the domain stuff. I think that's an aspect of play that hasn't been explored enough for probably various reasons. I know it's not everyone's shtick. It's not everyone's thing.
It should be there for people who want it. Absolutely agree with that. 100%.
But I really like what Macrice is doing, what he's doing with it, because he's like taking BX and he's taking it to like a whole new level. It's like I think I said on when we had him on last stream last week, it's like rule cyclopedia dialed up to not even 11. It's like beyond 11, because rule cyclopedia has domain stuff, it has mass combat. Like his is on another level, which I think is cool.
I like the abstractness of rule cyclopedia. I do. I'm not into the simulation stuff, but again, I think that for people who want that, that's amazing, and it should be there. What I really liked about the first Axe is I thought he had one of the best representations of the combination of the races class from basic, but allowing there to be more diversity, like as in advanced or 2nd edition, where there could be more things. I really liked the racial classes that he had in that first one. That to me was
we actually mentioned that earlier, because when we were talking about John's Reconquista supplement, I was kind of trying to float the idea of like maybe having like a races class thing with the Spaniards, but then having multiple. And I know he's this direction. He's been kind of considering that. I know some people in the chat were also saying it too. So
is his name Macrice or Macris? We've been calling him Macris, but is it Macrice? Macrice. Okay. I'll say it right for when he's on.
I did ask him about like if you can so he has like a lot of simulationist stuff, but I asked him like, do you have to like engage with that immediately, or can you just like literally start off as an adventure and like slowly build it up? And it's like, yeah, I've written it, so you can, if you want to engage with all the mechanics, you can like slowly ramp it up, but you can also just ignore it. You can ignore all the war rules, all the domain rules and stuff. You can literally just be like a cool adventure up.
But it's there for people who want it. Yeah. That's great. That's what
I think is awesome about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I watched some videos on his Ascendant game, and I was like, who would want to play that?
I think it sounds Ascendant is thick. It is a chunky book.
Yeah.
Like
But
I
it's
don't
some-
mind crunchiness in the character creation, but I don't want it in the gameplay. And oh my god, the math in that is like really.
Also, did you watch last week's show, Max?
Mm.
Because I mentioned you on it.
Oh,
Because I asked him like, hey, dwarven wizards, are they a thing? It's like my friend Max wants to know. He loves dwarven wizards. And he's like, yeah, they're in there. I'm like, yeah, you can be a dwarven wizard
now-
if you want. I'm like, oh,
he's
my
kicked off.
friend
He's
Max
not
will
even going to be here. We're canceling
my
that
friend Max will be
show.
happy to know those dwarven wizards. I made it like a whole thing, and he didn't know what I was talking about, but
I'll have to check that out. That's great.
Although I will say his dwarven magic users, they fit the flavor of dwarves well. Where it sounds like it's a lot more like mechanical, tinkery, sciencey,
It's
sciencey stuff.
rune. It's rune
Yeah, it's like
magic.
rune.
It's
if
rune,
it's
yeah.
Okay.
if it's like it was in Acts 1, because they're called like dwarven. I think it's like rune weavers or something like that.
world weavers.
Stop. None of that.
Dreamweaver.
Oh,
Jesus. How old are you? Fuck.
You know how old I am, and for
Yeah,
the
that's
rest
true.
out there, I'm 50, and I look better than all of them.
Yeah,
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it until I stand up and you see the pooch. But you know,
Max, you're literally twice my age.
it's awesome,
Yeah.
and I act half of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think Macrease will be a good guest. He'll be fun to talk to.
Great.
And you'll probably like a lot of his views outside of gaming and within gaming as well too. I think still. So.
Well, like I said, you're invited on. I want to have a panel. You know, it's a typical panel show. I'm not doing this on RPG Digest. I'm doing it on the Rando stream. So I still want to have the panel, and especially with people who appreciate or know his work better than I do, because I want him to not only be comfortable on here, but talk with people that can say, "Oh yeah, this part about your game is great. This part about," and where otherwise I'm sitting here like, "Oh, so what else do you do with your game?" You know. But I like the idea of giving him what little platform I've got to, spread the word to more people.
If you're not super versed in his games, another thing I would also recommend is looking at his Axioms zine, because that's the zine that he had running for a while for Axe, and he had a bunch of really good stuff in it. And even if you don't use it, as I think he did an overhaul that eventually became the new mass combat system for Axe 2, and he also had a whole thing on like actually making realistic economics for your game worlds and everything.
Well, unless
is
it's an
pretty cool.
audiobook, the chances of me reading that are almost none. I mean, I still have to, and I started reading this like 4 years ago. I still have to get through Arbiter of
Oh
Worlds.
yeah.
And I've liked this book. I didn't learn anything really new from it. Like, oh my God, this book is revolutionary. But it reinforced some things. It gave me some food for thought. But I was reading it when I was in Germany, and I've been out of Germany for 2.5 years now. So I'm going to have to read this before he gets here again.
You think we could get Greg to record an audiobook version of Arbiter of Worlds?
Oh, yeah.
That'd be
with his
cool.
voice.
Malachi, you'd be welcome. I mean, if you know the game, I trust you well enough to be good on the stream. I've seen you on other people's streams before, so yeah.
Yeah, Bear, the Gen X GM. I became pretty good friends with him recently. Yeah,
Bear's
he's a
good
guy.
people.
He would be a great guest on Natural One someday, John.
Yeah, well, he was when I was on what little I could catch of the Friday stream. He mentioned that, so and I said I was down, so just gotta work it out. I think he says he runs a game on Mondays, so it might be hard, but
yeah, well, we can always pick it like a different.
Well, he
day.
also runs a game on Fridays, but that one falls through quite a bit, as you note by him being on my stream. So
it happens.
I was
Adulting.
sadly like sick all week until pretty much about yesterday, so I didn't really get to join any streams all week.
Yeah. I sadly wanted to join Crossface's Vast Lands campaign, but with the time that comes up, it's like 2 p.m. for me on Wednesday. So I'm just like, yeah, I'm at work, bud.
I'm
should,
enjoying that game.
You should join mine. It's going to be called Vaseline Lands, and
Oh no.
Oh jeez.
Vic's going all out today. He's not even drunk.
oh, I am actually quite drunk. Don't.
Oh.
Earth on, Earth on, Earth on, Earth on, Earth on, Earth on.
Hang on, let
Oh,
me
no.
add Coke to this glass first. I don't want to drink that straight.
He's gonna make 0E.
Malachi
You didn't
says,
notice when I couldn't even talk earlier? Fuck.
I thought
Malachi
that was
says,
just the Dutch accent. Sorry, John.
He said to be honored. Let me think about it and read back through some of the stuff. I'm a huge fan of his class and spell creation stuff.
Excellent.
So.
Yeah, anything that we can have a good conversation with them. That's always like one of my issues. Why I'm no, I shouldn't say bombarded. I'm always having people send me messages like, "Hey, you should talk to this person. You should talk to that person. You should talk to this other person." And I've said this a ton of times on my streams. I'll say it here for the 5 people who might not have actually watched one of my streams, where I don't want to disrespect the people that come on. And that's the big issue for me. Mm-hmm. I don't generally care about the people behind the games. And I don't mean that like I don't care about Alexander McCreasy. No, it's just I care about the games, and I'm more concerned about what's in the books. I want to talk about the games themselves, the people behind them, whatevs. Like, so I don't want somebody to come on and feel disrespected because I don't know what they've done in the past, or, oh, you're the guy who wrote that? Oh, I didn't know that. Hell, I probably didn't know Gygax's name back in the day when I was playing D&D just because it wasn't things that we talked about. So like when Mark McKinnon, reason we had him on is because we were kind of giving shit to Bessem when we were first talking about it a couple of years ago. And he was in chat talking back to us like, why don't you come on and talk to us? Thinking he'd be like, yeah, no, he did. It's like, oh, great. And we built a rapport with them. Kevin and Sean, we've been doing all this Palladium stuff, so we thought it'd be a good idea to reach out to them. Hey, you make this up. Plus, we know Kevin's name from the 90s because we're big Palladium fans. But there's so many people out there that we're just not, it's not that it's the opposite. I don't want to be rude to that person. And I want to be like, so what do you do? I make this game. What's the game about? What, you didn't read up on this? Like, no, I didn't, because I don't play your game. I have you on here because people said I should. And that just seems disrespectful. I don't want to do that.
I'm the same as you, Max. Like, I don't really care about the personalities. Like, I'm a big Shadowrun fan. Like, to this day, if you ask me like who made Shadowrun, I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even know.
like I don't know. So yeah,
I know Gaming with ADHD is friends with some of the current creators of 6th edition, and we'll go back and forth a little bit because he's like, it's not as bad. Like, yes, it is as bad.
6th edition had creators.
No, 6th edition is apparently fixes the 5th edition issues or some nuts. So talk with Gaming with ADHD. He's great. He's a good person also. But he's
wasn't 6th edition like the half finished one with all these issues?
No, I heard that was 5th edition. 6th edition is the one that got all crazy woke, crazier than it already was.
I can't even read 6th edition just because it's like organization is awful.
Yeah, isn't that the one that like references stuff that it's not even in the game anymore?
Yes,
like something like that. Yeah.
Yes,
I thought that I heard that was 5th edition, but I could be wrong.
They both do.
I don't like anything past 2nd edition.
I played 2nd and 3rd back in the day, and that's like, and I've played some 4th, like I don't know, like 10 years ago, or whatever it came out. But yeah,
3rd is okay. 2nd fixes like the few issues that 1st edition really had.
If you say staging is an issue, I'm going to ask Basic Expert to kick you off his own show.
It wasn't staging. It was like one of the weird dice mechanics that basically had an exploit in 1st edition. Some people figure out that
the spell clout was one of them. Yeah.
Yes, that was it. But like the thing with 2nd edition is like they released 3rd edition in PDF. They released 1st edition in PDF. Nothing for 2nd, and so it's just like lost almost. It's kind of weird. But
that whole like not knowing the authors, like I want that to extend to me as well. I want people to play my games but not really pay attention to me. Like I would be happiest if people just play my games and I just fucking make like a nice like monthly paycheck or whatever. And otherwise I'm like fairly unknown. I just go on to the streams that I want to go on. I just hang out with the people I want to hang out with. But otherwise, I'm not known. People aren't trying to cancel me or trying to fucking like, tell me shit. Like, yeah, that's like my dream.
just be Kevin Crawford.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I like people like Rolling Bones and Gaming with ADHD, because they have creators on their show. They talk with all types of people, and I'm glad that there are folks out there that do that. I'm just not as comfortable in that situation. I'd rather bullshit with you guys. And, now to be fair, how did I meet you guys? Through the streams, through the community, through talking with folks. And I get that. But if, with having Alexander McCreasy on, for example, I mean, I forget how that happened. Like he reached out to, like in a Twitter, and people say, hey, you should go check out Legion of Myth, Diversity and Dragons and so forth. I'm like, sure, I'll talk to anybody. I don't have an issue with that. But I wasn't hunting him down. And again, not to disrespect him. I don't know why. Like I'm imagining he's watching right now. That's why I'm being all like, no, it's not that I don't.
He was earlier.
What's that?
He was
cool.
earlier.
That's cool. Like I said, for me, it's just a matter of I don't want to disrespect folks. So I'm really happy that he's coming on the Friday stream, and if I can get a few of you guys on who definitely know more about his work than I do, I'll be able to talk about this. You'll be able to talk about his games. We can have a fun conversation about whatever. That's the best of both worlds to me because I still get to talk with you guys and bring them on.
I would reach out to Crossface actually because Crossface, he's a friend of 3 of us, and he is also pretty well versed in Macree's stuff, if I recall correctly. So
he is. I don't think he's played it recently.
No, and he's been on a delving deeper kick.
Yeah, and also like he does dad mode. He's kind of like me, except he has an extra kid. So
yeah. And he coaches wrestling these days again, and he's learning to be a teacher. He's a busy boy.
He is.
And he's
also I like how Max is like, yeah, I'm all about respecting people. He doesn't fucking respect me. I fucking get roasted all the time. I get insulted by you all the time, you motherfucker.
I said I respect people.
Oh, well, that is true. Okay. Fair enough. I get where you're coming from now.
I don't know if Mr. Max is angry at me or not. He's like, thanks for shouting. Thanks for the shout out, Legion of Myth. I didn't shout you out. So either you're trolling or you're mad at me, and I don't know which one it is.
No, you don't want me to rant. The stream will get taken down. It'll be a whole thing.
We're almost at the end here anyway, so we don't have time for a rant.
Yeah.
Aw.
My last big rant that people really liked, I barely even remember. So yeah.
Which one's that?
And that was the one I did on your show about Pundit and stuff like that.
I thought the Final Fantasy one was a stronger rant than that.
That was a good one too. That was a good one too. Yeah.
He says his name twice. Don't say it again, or we'll summon him.
Hey, that could be fun. I mean, what was my last Friday stream about? It was a reaction to his video.
Yeah.
I've just been avoiding him. He's tried to bait me out.
I'm apparently Varg, according to him. I don't know how that works, but whatever.
You're identical, man. Like,
oh yeah.
You use a green screen because you have the French countryside behind you.
Oh, I use a green screen.
Did you light some people on fire? What the hell?
No, I said just be consistent, bro.
That's the same as lighting people on fire.
Oh no. He's gonna appear.
Yeah.
This will be the screenshot for the thumbnail, for the YouTube thumbnail.
I got drunk yesterday too in the Dutch oven. I started roasting Condor, which I probably shouldn't have, but I didn't give a fuck. So
somebody sent me a message about him again. Like I hadn't heard about him in at least a couple of weeks. Oh, that's right. I'm not going to mention who it was because it doesn't matter. But knowing that I was going to do a reaction video to this pundit video, I reached out to somebody and said, "Hey, what's that?" Yeah, I did.
Said again.
Malachi already did it 3 times. So I said, "Hey, you've been covering 2E, so why don't you, join me?" And well, he wasn't able to. But anyway, he's like, "Just do me one favor. Don't talk about Condor." I'm like, "Well, is he doing something again? Nobody's been telling me about his shenanigans. If that's the case." And he's like, "No, he's been keeping a low profile." So why would you even bring that up? Like,
leave Brittany alone.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a habit of going after him unless something, comes up or whatever. Let the guy do what the guy does.
He's never forgiven me for banning him from my server. Because he was like, "I'm gonna leave," and then he continued to argue. So I was like, you know what? Bye.
Well, apparently he's unblocked me from places because I was on Twitter for the first time today in a few days, and it actually put him up as recommended channel to follow. I was like, no. I thought about it, but then I was like, no. I'm not on Twitter enough, and I don't want to have another argument anyway. So
I was always neutral to him, but then he went after me on Twitter because he thought I was talking about him. And I was like, "I'm not talking about you at all, dude." And then he just started insulting me, and I was like, "Well, fuck you," and I blocked him.
Well, maybe he thought he was like one of us insulting you. I mean,
well, yeah, but
he's like, "Look, I can be cool, like the basic expert and Max."
I steal all my ideas from him. I do.
I thought that was DM James.
Oh no, he said that about John too.
He said I steal all his ideas for my videos and my stuff. So
Just remember, you are the most historically accurate game maker now in the OSR, John.
We'll see. I don't know. Crawford's Wolves of God is pretty good. So
yeah, but that was like that's old hat. That was like what?
You're
4 years
welcome
ago?
for getting you addicted to that one.
yeah, I'm still waiting for my copy of that to come in. It's too hard to read the PDF.
Oh,
so
speaking, I'll be right back on that.
Uh-oh.
He's
I
got
feel
the
like
nice.
there's about to be a surprise announcement.
He's got the nice hardcover version of Wolves of God. So he's gonna brag about it. That's what he's.
I've heard a lot about that game, but really the only Kevin Crawford games I have or I even care about having is I have, Star Cities and Worlds Without Number. I'm perfectly happy with that.
It's really good looking.
I was actually kind of shocked that it was in like an A5 digest type format, as all of Kevin Crawford's stuff has always been letter. And then I saw that, I was like, what?
Yeah, because
heck?
real men write in letter size, not A in whatever nonsense the Europeans use.
Digest is fucking dumb.
It works.
Well, digest isn't A5 though. Digest is 6x9.
I think this is digest. I'm not
Europeans use A4, which actually got me in. That fucked me up with my Kickstarter because I didn't know that Drive-Thru RPG didn't print the hardcovers in A4, and I made my book in A4. Softcover is A4, and then I would like go to like do all the hardcover stuff. Oh, no A4. And I had to had my fucking layout person fucking have to redo everything. It was like a whole ordeal. Literally at the last fucking second. It sucked. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now I'm just gonna make everything in letter just to begin with. So yeah.
I think the reason he did it in this format, because knowing Crawford, I'm pretty sure he did this to make it look like a Bible in print form. Which
it does look like a like that.
So I mean, it makes sense. No one
looks like looks like you'd put it in a hotel drawer,
Well, why don't you digest these, Mr. Max? No.
I love digest format. I mean, my books are digest format now.
So. He hands out Gideon's Bible, open at page 1.
I don't know. I like having something substantial. Like if I'm gonna release books, I want people to have to hold this fucking a thing this big.
So it depends on me. Let me show 2 books that I've got here, and I'll say we'll show one that I think is a good one that I think is a bad one.
Oh, he's not wearing pants.
No, I'm wearing shorts. I always wear shorts. I'm from Minnesota. I live in Alabama. So, this book, Forbidden Lands, this is a good digest size book.
Yeah.
This book, Earth Dawn, being 9 million pages, is not a good digest book.
That's digest? I thought digest was the really small stuff.
No, digest is 6x9.
Yeah, digest is the US equivalent of A5, basically.
Well, what did you release Atomic Pumpkin then?
Maybe it's smaller. It's like 5.5 by.
Yeah, it's tiny.
Yeah.
But you always said digest, so that's what my mind went to.
5.5 by whatever I think is also technically digest, or is that zine size?
Might be zine size.
5.5 by 8.5.
See, now you know that Pundit didn't show up, but look, mention his name 3 times, and I told people to follow you.
He's asking, I backed your book, but how do I say the name?
Macaroni.
It's upside down.
It's upside down.
It's tiny. Is that digest?
If you want tiny.
Ooh.
If you want tiny, let me. Well, no.
And demonetized.
It's pronounced.
I mean, it's cool. I like it, but it's not for me. I like. If I release a book, I want people to have to fucking hold a tome.
Well, I'm just glad you can't do drive-through RPG reviews, Vic.
Yeah,
that's me.
But for gaming with ADHD, it's Macuahuitl. That's how you say it.
Sorry, can you say that? I thought I had a stroke for a second.
Macuahuitl?
That is also appropriate, but the TL is technically kind of like a more abrupt
how did Diversity and Dragons say it again? Macuahuitl or something?
Yeah, but it's really pronounced Macuahuitl. And it's the TL is it's very short and abrupt, but
that's a lot of Japanese word. My wife's name ends like that with the letters tsu, but they don't say the U, but they kind of breathe it out, but don't say it. It's annoying.
So you're just always saying it wrong. So
Well, I can either say
shut up,
"tsu" or I can say "ts," but I can't do the "ts." It's like-
Yeah, but she can pronounce R's or what is it else, so it's fine.
Hey, these books are awesome. These Forbidden Lands books. It's something about Free League when they do the black and white books. They're amazing.
it's a different printer.
Well, according to this, it doesn't look like a different printer. It's the same Livonia one. Yeah, this is Livonia or Latvia, whatever. Livonia print. It's weird though. The full color ones fall apart, and I hate them. This one and even the full size Vaesen book, which are black and white on the inside, freaking amazing. I've abused this book and it stays together well. I've opened my Coriolis book up a few times, maybe 20 total, and it's got bends. Feels like some of the clumps of pages are going to come out.
I'm worried about my
Speaking of
version.
print quality, this is how you do a proper parchment background. Just saying.
That's a rib at Invisible College.
Yes.
What's invisible? Oh, is that for the fourth
Pundit's
time?
book.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. It's illegible.
It's
parchment.
It's
Sorry.
parchment. It's parchment paper with brown letters on top of it. So it's like it is really hard to read.
See, I want a book this size. I want something substantial. It's fairly thick, even
What's
at that
the
space.
one?
Well, hey,
Western
the fact that it
RPG
has a lot of
thing?
pages in there,
Yeah.
a full size book. See, for like what I'm writing, I'm going to determine which size I use, digest in single column format or full size in 2-column format based on how many pages it is. I'm pretty convinced it's going to be full size format, but it's just going to depend on how many pages because I don't want a book this skinny that's full size when I can make it look a little thicker and be smaller.
I don't have a lot to say, so I go with the size that I go with because like the length of my books work for that. Like I don't write long things, so.
What's the one Western RPG by Goodman? It's like Weird Frontiers, right?
Yeah, it's Weird Frontiers. I think it's like 700 pages. or
Yeah,
something like
that motherfucker does a D8 bludgeoning damage.
It's huge. It's ridiculous.
Massive. As I remember, I think Crafty like posted a picture in like the Gilded of the book. I'm just like, that is like, I thought DCC was big, and that thing's somehow even larger.
Yeah,
which is just nuts.
Burn, man. That's a burn.
Damn.
Look, I might be 105 when I do, but someday I will.
Yeah.
It's finally over.
It's gonna be like
too old to run it, but there it is.
It's gonna be like the Silmarillion. It's gonna be like after you're passed and whoever is like
somebody else takes it over. Yeah,
takes it over, and they're gonna piece it together. And
well, apparently Brandon Sanderson plagiarized his way into writing my book for me. So,
oh.
So people are apparently talking about him plagiarizing some stuff now. I'm like, whatever.
He'll finally release his book with all the perfect layout, no typos, everything that Max likes.
And they won't be print copies of books anymore.
Yeah. And meanwhile, we've released like 50 books with like typos and like layout issues and stuff. We're like multi-millionaires, but he's just succeeding because...
I'm not gonna lie. I hope that's not true, and it's because like I get there's always mistakes in certain books, but when we don't give a crap at all about editing anything, and the people who how do I say this? Cater to that, like, oh, it doesn't matter, just be creative. No, F off. There needs to be an editing process of some sort.
Mm-hmm. It matters, but especially John and me, we're pretty much running solo here. We have some people that help us, but it's mostly just like friends and stuff like that. So, there's always going to maybe like typo is going to sneak in. Yeah, like layout issues are going to sneak in.
That's the thing that matters. Yeah. I've talked to enough people. They're like, it doesn't matter. You can figure it out. You don't have to capitalize every letter. If punctuation's bad. That's why people figure it out. There are look at DM's Guild. I've had people send me in the past. I just don't cover DM's Guild when it was still a thing. They'd send me this crap like, how can you read that? And if you criticize it, like, oh, we believe in people's creativity. Well, that's not creative if I can't understand it.
After OSE, layout and editing matter so much more in basically everything, and I think OSE really was the catalyst for that, because it made people be like, "Oh, this is actually really fucking nice."
See, I like Hyperborea's layout.
I do like Hyperborea's layout's really good. Jeff did a good job with that.
I don't even get how like there's like these big games these days that have like awful layout. Like I do everything by myself in Affinity. Well, I do everything by myself in Affinity, and people have like praised my layout. That it's very like readable. It's very clean. It's like it's very what's the word? Yeah, it's just not messy. But then I see like games. Well, then I see games that have had like $50,000 Kickstarters, and that layout is like trash. And it's like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
Yeah, people said that about my layout. My layout game has improved a lot. I really tried to focus on getting it better.
I liked your layout for Macaroni. I thought that was no, I really did. I also liked that 2-color format. I thought it fit the genre really well.
Macaron Chacaron has really good layout, especially when compared to Cowpunchers. Like, you improved a ton.
Yeah,
just over that short time.
And I was proud of Cowpunchers when I did it, but then like, looking back at it now, it's like, yeah, I could have been better. I could have done this better. But I was still learning Affinity at the time because I had switched from Scribus, which was like a free program to and Scribus is terrible. Don't use it. But I switched from Scribus to Affinity, and Affinity was what really helped it. Like, I felt like I wasn't fighting the tools, because I felt like in Scribus I was fighting the tool that was trying to help me make the thing. But I was asked on a stream recently, it was like, what advice would you give to other creators to, help get their projects off the ground? And I was like, one of the things you can do is learn to do layout. It's not that hard. Go buy Affinity. It's like, you get it for like $60 or whatever. It's a one-time fee, and you can start doing layout for your own stuff. Yeah. You might not be a good artist, and you'll have to pay for art or use public domain stuff, but you master layout, like, you can do it yourself.
The sad thing for me is I did a ton of layout when I was in the Air Force back in the 90s, but I used PageMaker, and when it switched over to, was it Canvas or whatever the hell it's called, I never moved along with that. So I probably could have just jumped right back into PageMaker and used that, with the best of them. But is that what the Adobe one's called now? Canvas?
No, it's InDesign.
InDesign. Oh my God, I don't know what.
And Affinity is like it's considered kind of like just like a step below InDesign, but it does like no monthly fee. It's just like you pay like $60 once.
Yeah, I'm not paying. I pay him enough for Photoshop. I'm not going to pay him for anything else.
InDesign
I got it for like 25 because they had like a discount code. But yeah,
here's Affinity's flat 60. Yeah.
Here's what Affinity looks like. So it's pretty standard. This is the 0E clone I've been bullied into doing. I've had notes and I just started.
Hell yes.
So
how easy is it to copy? Because I'm writing everything right now in Google Docs.
Well, it's pretty easy. Like, you got so I made like these, you have the master sheets that you can use and apply them to the pages and everything. It's like super easy, super nice. You got like your page numbers down here, and then I have it set up for like different.
But do you type right in there, or do you copy and paste things over?
You can do both. You could do both. It'll work both ways.
And then how do you apply your art? Like half page art or something that actually has to work around the text.
You could use this.
Yeah, that's very easy.
You have this here, and then you can set the distance like on the top left, bottom right, all that stuff. So like
it's not showing the little sub window, I don't think.
Yeah, it also has some stuff for like form to art. So like if you have an image that has transparency on the background, then you can have like the text like kind of go along the edge of it and stuff too. So it's pretty good.
I just need to learn it. Like, I tried when I was talking with you about a year or so ago. Basically, I started looking at Scribus. I was like, if I'm going to go through this hell, I may as well just buy InDesign. But I didn't want to do it. And I think Victor told me about Affinity, or maybe it was you. I was like, I took a look at it. It's like, that's probably what I'll go with. But yeah, I'm adverse to it right now because it's been so long since I've done it. But I used to love PageMaker back in the day. I wish that never would have gone away.
Also, copy pasting text in from like a separate Word program is pretty easy because that's what I've been doing.
Okay, yeah. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to try to reformat everything and make it all screwy and so forth. I don't care if it reformats what I've got here to there, but sometimes when you copy and paste from say Google Docs to something else, I don't want to have to reset all the pages individually or page layouts individually. Okay, that piece of art is exactly what I was talking about. That's perfect. Yeah. That's what I'm looking for. Okay,
it's super easy to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, you click. You click
Yeah.
this up here.
It is modern necessities right now, so I can just click this this dwarf and I can just drag it around, and it like the text will just like wrap around it.
That's good. All right, that's easy enough.
And there's like different options for like how you wanted to do it.
Is that your dwarven wizard?
It's a dwarven gunslinger, but you know it could be dwarven wizard if you
So
want.
there's
to.
one-
You really want it to be Max?
So there's one problem with that layout that I'm seeing that makes me cringe.
Oh, it's the left. I know what you're going
Yeah,
to say.
fuck that left justify nonsense.
I
If
am-
you're gonna do
I
it,
am
put it
gonna-
in,
Yeah,
justify
but
it properly.
Well, okay. See, so I can just do this, and then there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
And
So
you can-
I was
you
gonna
can
do.
do-
I am gonna do that for the whole book. Don't you worry, because I fucking saw you complain about that, and I was like, you know what? He's right for a change. This fucking bastard.
When I QC work like that, well, I don't do that kind of stuff anymore. But when I did, yeah, that was one of the first things to be like, nope, you're justifying everything.
But-
yeah, but this is
well,
how. No,
the-
you're not doing
Yeah,
that.
the problem is it does fuck up some things sometimes. But yeah.
Yeah, there's some spacing issues that can arise,
Yeah.
but as long as it doesn't screw up bullets, and that's what Google Docs does. Google Docs will actually screw up bullets, which annoys the crap out of me. But that does. I'm watching what you're doing right there. That doesn't seem to screw up the bullets. So
Yeah, so I'll zoom in a little bit. So yeah, this is like normal one, and then if I just hit like justify left, and it just does it makes it like that.
You can turn on auto hyphenation too.
Yeah.
oh, that's good.
Which is nice. If you go in the paragraph,
Does it
section.
auto hyphenate between dumb letters, or does it actually know where to put real
It's-
hyphenations?
It seems like it seems to know. I haven't had
Okay.
any issues with it, so
Okay, that's
I've
awesome.
been-
Okay,
But yeah, I did all of this myself in Affinity, the tables.
go back
like
to the gun
everything.
page, or any one of the
Uh,
page with a bunch of weapons on it.
This one.
There you go. There's one. Is that one image?
Yeah, that's one image.
Okay.
Mhm.
I wasn't sure if you like actually
Yeah.
imported in a whole bunch of images.
No, it's just
Okay.
well, it's not letting me select it right now, but
Oh,
there
the
you go.
Keltec space gun. I love it.
yeah. I'm gonna redo all the art and stuff. I'm getting like new art made. But yeah.
Other than that, I mean, I can't read what it says and that's good because it's zoomed out too far, which is good because being able to read it actually makes the QC process harder. I can see the bold text for your bullets. I can see you have a nice layout on there. So layout and design wise, just at a glance, without me being hyper critical, other than the justify thing, I like how you've laid that out. Good spacing between the paragraphs, and
I've got good compliments on this one. And yeah, like I said, I did all of this myself just in Affinity.
tables. How are those done?
It has a
Pretty
whole
easy.
table tool in it because I
we go.
was using some. So
Okay.
So yeah, you know, when you first make a table, it has like all the lines, like, you know, for every little thing, for every little what's it called? Every little tab.
Cell, row.
Yeah, but you can like set that to 0, so it just like you know, gets rid of them, or you can like change.
Okay.
You can basically just change like tables all you want.
That'll make sense to me,
Scribus-
so we're good.
Scribus sucked ass because it didn't have a table tool. Tables
Oof.
you had to make with text boxes, so every little cell was a separate text box.
Oh Jesus,
And it
no.
I literally took like 3 days to make like every table in my first game that I made in Scribus. It was fucking awful.
thing
How did
that
you
I
not
saw
stab
people-
your fingers? I'm sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say the same thing that I saw people do with Scribus specifically is that they would make the tables in a separate program and export them as images.
Oh, yeah.
I
Which
ended
is,
up
like,
doing that.
gross.
With,
That would probably make editing suck.
Yeah,
I ended up doing that with Simple Modernity when I first did that. That my very first attempt at the OSR gun rules. I just took the tables that I made in Word 2010 and just turned them into images and just imported them into Scribus.
Now, are you typing directly into Affinity, or are you using a word processor first?
No, I'm just typing, and it has a spell checker. So yeah, I can just like type.
A spiel checker.
So yeah.
Spiel checker.
Then
Scribus is a nightmare.
yeah, you can change like the spacing between the ladders, like all sorts of stuff. Like over here, you
And the
see
kerning
like,
and all that. Yeah.
yeah.
Dude, I still don't know how like the Indian Post uses Scribus for their like actual newspaper. That's just nuts to me.
Well, I'm sure it's one of those things that once you're used to it, like I didn't leave, Premiere for DaVinci, just for video editing for the longest time because I knew it.
Da Vinci's better anyways.
DaVinci, yeah. But I didn't want to relearn anything. What's another? Oh, I was a big CorelDRAW guy back in the 90s. If you know anything about CorelDRAW versus not PageMaker, Illustrator. Illustrator is a breeze to use compared to CorelDRAW, but I knew CorelDRAW, so I didn't want to learn something else.
No, I was in a similar boat because I do photography as like another hobby, and for the longest time I was using Lightroom, and then they switched to like the new Lightroom and Lightroom Classic, and it was all weird and crap. And so I was finally like, screw it, Capture One, and I had to like kind of relearn a lot because Capture One is very different than Lightroom.
So that's why I didn't use InDesign. When I first picked up InDesign, I was like, what is it? I can't find anything. I don't know how to use like everything was different, and I was like, I'm out. I'm not even gonna bother.
And then it's like a monthly fee, and then like I said, Affinity is like considered like maybe like just a step below InDesign, but it's like you pay like $60, and there's like also discount codes a lot of times because I got it for like 25, and it's just one-time payment, and I make all my games in that. So,
okay, one last question, then I won't derail anymore. It's like covers. How do you do your covers?
I do them in Affinity as well.
Yeah, you just import them as
But don't covers have to have a bleed and
you can set up
size, and
you can set up the bleed in Affinity, just like every page has like a standard bleed, and you can set up the size for it and stuff. But you just have like page one as like your cover, and you just import the image.
So if you're doing front and back and spine,
yeah. Well, so if you want to do it as a print on demand, the cover file is like separate. You have to upload a separate cover file on like Drive2RPG.
So kind of like I did with Lulu, where I made my own covers. Yeah. Okay.
But for a PDF, you just make the cover like page one, and you make the back cover. Page,
the PDF side would be easy. I'm concerned about the print side of it. Okay.
Yeah. So you do have to do them separately for like the print side.
Okay, understood. All right.
But they give you templates. They have a Drive2RPG has a template for InDesign and a template for Affinity. So.
Oh, perfect.
Here you go. This is a cover for my zine. I'll show
a
this.
game of can he screen share?
Yeah, there we go. I clicked it for you. Fucking.
I got it. I was clicking it.
No, I got it.
I got it. But yeah, so I just made the cover for my zine in here. So this was going to be for print on demand. So it's like, teeny little spine, so not enough space for text. But if it was wider, it'd be easy to do. But
all right.
Can you show the bleed? There should be an optional layer or whatever, or like view, or like show bleed.
This is just a template that I did over the top, and it just works fine.
Well, yeah, but there should be like a standard bleed, and it should show you like the little thingy around it.
Show bleed. It's on.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
on.
Okay.
It's underneath.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Depending on how you have it set up, there should be like a little like line around it for like a couple of like millimeters.
If I go to this one, you can see the bleed here.
Yeah, there we go. You see that that gray line? That's the bleed.
Okay.
Around it.
So. Again, that all makes sense to me. I've done this. It was years ago, but I've done all this in the past. So that Affinity does look like what I would probably go with. That looks like it has all the features that I need.
Yeah.
So I'm doing everything right now in Google Docs, and I'm still not ready to start typing in Affinity. I think that's one step a little bit too far for me. I'd rather just keep doing what I'm doing with that now. But
yes, you can
Max. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. You can set up the master pages, and you can. Each page you can give a different master page, so you can literally have like 10 different master pages, and you just select which one you want.
Yeah, and it has page numbering system. It has a page numbering system in it already as well.
Yeah.
You just have to define as a part of the master page that it's basing off of.
Yeah.
And it has sections too. So like if you want to have like Roman numerals for like your title page and copyright stuff and table of contents, you can have like Roman numerals or something like that, and then it'll start numbering page one when you actually want it to start numbering on page one. You can set it to do that.
Yeah.
Well, in 25 years, when they're on the next version of Affinity and I'm almost done with my book, I'll hit you guys up again. And
I don't know. I'm still using that version from 25 years ago.
I'll be downloading RPGs into our brain.
Yeah.
If it's WotC's,
yeah, on the WotC table.
I want that.
The WotC tabletop will be in our brains. Yeah.
You'll just open your eyes and it'll be at the VTT.
Yeah.
It'll ask you, what are your pronouns?
Yeah, exactly.
It'll be in a brain, but it still takes 40 minutes to get to your turn.
That's
Just
just
sitting there like,
because
Oh,
individual.
oh, yeah, I
initiative-
got to swing as my barbarian. Let me think really hard on it. Oh,
I
yeah,
almost
swung
took
two
somebody up
times.
on a
Okay, we'll see you guys in
challenge.
40 minutes.
I had somebody give me a challenge recently. It's like, you bitch about 5e so much, Max, but you've only played it a couple of times. Why don't you make your version of 5e and see how good you can do it? It's like, I could turn 2nd edition into 5e. And I was like, no, why would I? No, I don't. No, I don't enjoy the game. So why would I do that? It's a passable game. It works. It functions, but it's not for me.
Yeah, that's fine.
Mine is more, people recognize it pretty quickly. It's like, oh, you stole this from Palladium. Well, I wouldn't say I stole it from Palladium, considering I'm making a whole ton of changes for it, but there are some Palladium concepts that I'm using.
Who spilled their heroic in my fantasy?
Who the hell plays 2E anyway?
Dungeons and Dragons?
I'm with Pandit. 2E sucks. No.
Apparently, you
Actually-
want the stream to go on an hour longer, because I can go on an hour ranting
actually-
about this one as to why.
Well, I
If
gotta
you
show
want your
something real
dwarf and
quick.
wizards, you're going to be playing 2E, dick.
I'll show something real quick, and then John can go to bed because I know he's fucking getting sleepy. 'Cause
Yeah,
he's
I'm
the
getting
sleepy
tired here.
Mexican. But give
Yep.
me 1 second. I'll be right back.
I need my siesta.
Oh no,
here.
he needs to siesta. Yeah, I put in the prep chat. It's like John's getting sleepy. You're like looking like you're nodding off.
It was it was a lift day today, so I'm extra sore and tired.
I feel that.
I was going to actually do that, do my working out. I work over by my unboxing desk over there, and then I decided to jump on here instead. So, and my wife overfed me today too. So,
Well, sorry, Max.
oh no, I had a good time here. Thanks for letting me come on.
He's ready for his
All right.
siesta.
So I bought all the 2E core books from Drive to RPG. Got the PODs. Something went wrong. UPS didn't deliver. I complained to Drive to RPG. So
Wait, is
you know,
that
I got
second
the-
edition?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the second edition. This 2E.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right. Okay, first of all, there aren't 3 books for second edition. There are only 2.
No, this is the monster manual. The
No,
monstrous manual.
Monster Manual doesn't exist for second edition. Real men have the Monsters Compendium.
Well, why do you have it then?
I do have the Monster Manual, but that's because it was given to me.
Yeah.
The best start in that is the Invisible Stalker, and you can't change my mind on that.
But yeah, something went wrong. UPS didn't deliver. So I complained to Drive to RPG. 2 weeks later, guess what happened? I got
You should do a giveaway.
Yeah, I
Because
was actually
swimming
probably
in
gonna do
second
it.
edition.
Yeah.
When you're
so,
how close are you to monetizing, or are you monetized?
I'm like 90 or something subscribers away from
Yeah,
1,000.
I'd start shouting out the the entire 2E core collection of once I get monetized.
Yeah, I was actually thinking of doing that. I just need to not be lazy.
Yeah, I've got those green books as well, only because my real AD&D second edition books are falling apart after 30 some years of use, and so I got the green ones as well in case I ever run the game again. And I Cheeto Hands wants to touch them.
Yeah. Well, these are the revised editions too, so it has like that.
Yeah, it's the
bards.
red
Yeah.
boxes and all that nonsense.
I do like the
Orange
the
Spine
art-
Gang.
Yeah.
There's some
the
good
artist-
information in those.
The art is a little bit lesser in my opinion. I still like the art a lot, but it's not as cool as quite as the first edition. But I do like the general layout.
No.
better.
See, you don't have the real art in that book. You don't have
that's what I'm saying.
you don't have Elmore Parkinson.
Well, no, that's not what I'm saying. So I
okay.
have the revised edition, so the art isn't as good as the original edition.
Oh, I thought you
but
meant
the
first
general-
edition AD&D. Okay, got it.
No, I mean the first edition of second edition. Like so, the original edition of second edition, and I have the revised version, and they did
Like, how
different
many
art.
editions are there?
But I don't know, fucking how many editions are there of you, motherfucker? But
According
the
to
general,
people online, infinite.
the general layout I like a lot better. It's a lot cleaner, a lot more readable.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. Well, Panchi, you're just a sock puppet of yourself, right?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
a sock puppet myself.
You're barely
I'm-
4 foot tall. I wouldn't even call you an addition.
I'm made of socks. That's the thing. I'll never see it coming. This is actually my skin. I'm kidding.
You're called a printing.
You're called printing.
All right. Patty says it's bedtime, and I have
Yeah.
to agree. I'm pretty
Yeah.
tired.
Yeah.
But
Fun stream though. I had fun.
yeah,
fuck
thanks.
them.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
letting me
for-
pop in.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you everyone that backed Macuahuitl. I appreciate it. Hopefully soon the PDFs will be going out. I got to put everyone's name in, so I got to figure out formatting that. But I'm excited to have this project done. Is there anything you guys you want? I mean, Max, you're having Macrease on and Venger on. So
Avenger this upcoming Friday the 13th, Macrease on the 20th of October. And then for our Sunday stream, until I get news from Kevin and Sean from Palladium Books, we're back to our normal program, which I don't know what Heathen Dog's doing this week. And I'm back to covering Forbidden Lands. We're talking about talents and skills in Forbidden Lands.
Cool.
Nice.
I do have one thing to shill. Be on the lookout for the Basic Experts 0E clone coming soon.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
What he calls Gygax fascist, and
it's all angry. You know, people hate watch videos. Well, this is angry creating game. They made me do this.
No, I legit really want it. Essentially, what it's going to be is and it's funny because I just made a video a while back saying like, oh, I'm not going to do a clone, and here I am like doing a clone, but it's going to be like, what if it was pre-supplement 1 and all you had was chainmail on the 3 LBBs? So it's like, how would you fix that together to make a complete game? So that's my goal.
Sounds fun.
Yeah. Offset print when.
We'll see.
Yeah. That first Kickstarter is always the toughest, I think.
Yeah.
I'm about to do my second one, so we'll see how that goes. But I'll check out probably one shots with me and my friend Cosface and Greg and whoever else wants to be on. And yeah, buy my book, buy Modern Necessities. Check out Modern Necessities 2.0 when I finally kickstart that. Fuck, I can't talk. God damn it, Max.
I'm glad you got my disease.
Yeah. Buy my 5th edition modern stuff, Modern Adventures Guide to Guns and Gear. You know, just check out my shit in general. Check out the Dutch Oven on Sundays.
Gross.
That's it, really. Oh man, the Dutch Oven was literally the Dutch Oven and didn't say anything. But I had like 5 bowls of like chili, just packed full of beans, like literally that day. I was farting up a storm. Yeah, well, sort of. But I was farting up a storm that whole stream.
Yeah, you were farting at one point in one of the previous Dutch ovens. We saw Legacy's crack. Fun times.
Yeah.
Was it Dutch Oven where like T-shirt got the stream like taken down momentarily?
Oh yeah, because I had to re-upload it. It was taken down completely.
Oh my god!
And people complain about my streams. My streams are just nothing.
You don't have ass cracks on?
Not willingly, no. The worst I had, I think, was Bruce falling asleep one time, and you could hear him snoring. So like, roof him.
That's funny.
All right. Well, thank you guys for coming on and just having a fun chat, talking about whatever comes up. And thank you, chat, for watching. Thank you, everyone, for the super chats. Super appreciative of that.
You guys are awesome.
We'll catch you guys next week. Look out for Macuahuitl. It'll come out soon.
Yes, Macuahuitl.
Yep, perfect.
Macaroni.
Buy Macuahuitl.
I'm honestly surprised no one's ever said like mariachi or Macarena or anything like.
Oh, now I am. Macarena.
Okay, iedereen koop
No,
Macuahuitl.
that's saved for my Vastland patron play.
All right. Well, we'll catch you all later. Thank you guys for watching. It means a lot. Catch you guys out.